Hey, you're listening to Metal Gear Mondays, and it's completely brought to you by listeners like you supporting us. So you should go to patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays and consider supporting. Thanks.
Your first priority is to secure physical control of your opponent. The one who controls the pace and movement of the engagement controls it all. Let's practice your CQ-Seek takedowns.
Yes, sir.
You're releasing your enemy to suddenly and sharply. Be careful, or you'll unintentionally break their arms.
Yes, boss.
I like your flair, kid, but this isn't a trick contest. No need to remove your opponent's pants mid-combat.
Sorry, boss.
No apologies either. Prepare yourself.
Huh?
Direct and discreet. Be quick. Like that.
Affirmative, boss.
Pick yourself back up and start again.
Boss, how are the new recruits?
They're doing fine. Not like you in your prime, though.
I'll never forget that day, boss.
Think you still have some moves?
Let's go.
Skins?
You know it.
Woo!
Your grip is just as tight as ever, boss.
Your agility always has me in awe.
You've got to think fast when you're in the mix. You're just too good.
I love the smell of your hair.
Your sweat smells like home.
Let me see your knife. Bring it out.
Huh?
Come at me with your knife.
Boss,
What is it?
you've got a massive erection, boss.
Massive erection. Oh.
Woo! Oh, I love watching these two go at it.
Oh, you should see him after a few beers.
I guess manly love really can bloom on the battlefield.
Vic Boss. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, welcome to another episode of Metal Gear Mondays, the Games Club podcast where we talk about all things Metal Gear from top to bottom, left to right, inside and out. As always, I am your host, Alessio Summerfield, and this week I'm joined by our regular, amazing panel of MSF kick-ass soldier boys. We got James Ragmuth.
You.
We got Sam Wright.
Crank that soldier boy.
And we got Isaac Lim.
You again.
Did you guys
Isn't that how
see?
that song goes?
I can't remember who the politician was. Some politician tweeted out, he just like fucked up and accidentally just tweeted you, and then Soldier Boy responded back with "Crank that Soldier Boy,"
It was so good.
like instantly.
Yep.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Soldier Boy's been on a real tear lately on social media. Y'all should check it out.
Yeah, he's doing real good.
Yeah, the video of Soldier Boy playing Braid will forever be burned into my memory.
That's
but yeah.
hilarious.
So this week we are going to be covering. This is going to be confusing. So this is part 3 of Peace Walker. Internally, we've been referring to this as part 2, with the first part just being the generalities. But this is being labeled as part 3 for the show. So this is part 3 of Peace Walker, released on the PSP, PS3, and Xbox 360. And we're going to be covering the second half of the plot.
Yeah, we are.
Post-game content. And
sick.
our thoughts on the game as a whole.
I got thoughts.
Yeah, before we get into that, we're going to talk about some news.
The news.
It's time for new news. Metal Gear news!
Yeah.
Sam, tell us about Jordan Voight Roberts and the tweets.
Holy God, man, he's just releasing some good
Wait, hold on.
art.
Is Holy Godman related to Hot Coldman?
Hot Coldman? I don't know. Might as well be. Holy Godman has been tweeting a lot. No, he's just been, ever since this Metal Gear 31st thing has been going on, he's just been releasing a lot of good concept art. Have you seen most of it?
I've seen most of it. I've not seen the most recent, which you have told us is animated.
I'm pretty sure I saw, hold on. I'm pretty sure I saw an animated, like, concept art of Snake doing the Halo jump from 3.
Oh, shit. It's hard to tell because, like, his Twitter feed is a mixture of, like, anybody who's using the hashtags as well. Like
except for us, funnily enough.
Yeah, he retweets everybody, and so it's like it's really hard to get to the core.
If you go on there and you change to the media, if you click on media, it's just
it's
just those. But there's like a lot of stuff. There's like one concept art of like Metal Gear standing in a fucking rice paddy field
Hell yeah.
while people are just staring at it. There's one of
Do you see the snake?
walking,
The big snake head with like the
the
snakes coming
big
out of its
giant,
mouth?
like,
What the fuck?
Hydra thing. Yeah, there's one.
Oh,
with,
it's got the dead ghost soldiers in it too. What the
Mhm.
hell is happening?
There's one with a snake or with the ninja committing seppuku, which is interesting. There's one one where Snake is like behind these Spec Ops soldiers, and he's like blending into the wall kind of because of the camo.
Did you see Day 14 with the boss?
Yeah, with the boss in the field in the flowers. What else is there? There's one where he's confronting the boss, and there's one where the boss is in the field with the flowers, like dead.
All of this wonderful
just-
artwork still doesn't make me change my opinion on Jordan Voight Roberts' beard, which is that I find it hideous.
Yeah, no.
Damn.
You should.
Like, it's just too much.
Hideous.
Like, I love you to death, Jordan. Can you just cut your beard in half lengthwise?
Wonder how long
please?
it's taking to grow that.
Probably too long. I like this one picture with the Metal Gear gecko and what appear to be Ewoks.
Yeah, that's hilarious. It's really fucking funny.
But
There's
yeah.
one, and the art style is strikingly different from the rest of them, but it's one where a gecko is chasing Otacon down a hallway.
Oh yeah. The artwork is very different. Like, it went from like super serious to like kind of a little bit more
Hell yeah.
Like
Get 'em.
comic
anime,
book
like manga.
anime. Yeah.
That's scary looking.
But the ones before that are Snake and Gray Fox in like fighting each other while a bunch of soldiers aim laser sights at them, which is like, phew.
Yeah, hurt me more, dog. I think that is just what I imagined when we just performed the Kaz and Big Boss skit.
Pretty much.
It's just a bunch of boys watching a bunch of boys punch each other. Yeah, that's awesome. Real quick too. So old Stephanie Justin, aka Quiet, is off doing her thing right now. I think it's interesting. So she's at a games festival in Chile right now. She's constantly doing shit and spending time with Quentin Flynn and going to events to promote games and stuff when she's just in this one game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's interesting to me that she's traveling so much for games when, like, that's... At least, I don't know, maybe she's working on something that hasn't released yet.
Maybe it's a Riding and Quiet crossover.
Oh, shit. It's called Riding Quiet.
Hell yeah.
But, anywho's, it's cool. So, yeah, that's kind of that new stuff. I think outside of that... The only other real news that we have is actually Quiet related. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Did you say nothing?
That was
man.
That's great, Sam. You should take that show on the road, boy. Yeah. So Quiet. What the game came out in 2016?
A long time ago.
So like fucking 2 years and some change in the making. Quiet just got added to the forward operating bases on Metal Gear Solid 5. And then there were a bunch of like quality of life Metal Gear Online alterations that were made. So yeah, if you guys still play that, when we get to Metal Gear Solid 5 here in the next month or so, we're gonna do a whole episode dedicated to that. I'm not sure if it's all just player versus player. Hopefully there is also some sort of co-op-esque.
I have no idea.
That'd be fun. I have no fucking clue. I only played it a couple times, so.
Excited to either work with you boys or kill you boys, though. So
Work with you or against it.
yeah, you never know what's gonna happen in the jungle.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much the news. I think we're good to dive right into the main game. I do want to address old friend of the show, listener TJ Wark. Posted on the Facebook page. Anytime we talk about the movie stuff, a bunch of people come out and they start posting comments. So somebody posted, and we'll probably talk about this in the listener response episode, but what our perfect Dreamcast would be for the film.
The Sega
Of
Dreamcast.
the Sega variety. And TJ Work just responded with, do you guys actually think this movie's going to get made?
Fuck
and
yeah.
I instantly responded back with just the word yes.
Can you imagine if Jordan Voight Roberts does all this fucking talk and then this movie never gets made?
Yeah.
It's like, who are you?
Well, and a lot of the conversations that I've been seeing, it's like, the way that Jordan Vogt Roberts has been talking about it, where he's like, I really want to retain the weirdness and all this other stuff. He always talks about it in when he always talks about it like when we're shooting, we're going to be having these things in mind.
Here's a quick question. So there's no like studio attached, right?
Yeah, Sony
is attached.
This is like an in-house Sony.
So it's an in-house Sony thing. Do you also think that it's going to be like any sort of collaboration between Konami and Kojima, like directly?
Well, like I know, so Jordan Vogt Roberts has been meeting with Kojima,
right?
Like very frequently,
right?
We've discussed this on the show before.
Yeah, like there's got to be like a partnership happening behind the scenes, like actively now.
Well, I don't know if Konami has say,
or
if it's a situation where they just license.
They're just
the
licensing
property.
it. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
So yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. This is actually a really exciting time for us to be doing the show because not only is this movie thing happening, but more and more rumors keep kind of surfacing that Blue Point is doing this Metal Gear remake.
Oh yeah.
So just people just like keep bringing it up. That would be fucking.
Does it seem like it's going to be a remake that's just like updated graphics, or you think they're going to redo?
No,
the
like
engine?
a remake. Like
Shadow of the
wow.
Colossus.
That's pretty
style.
fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see. Worst case scenario, and I've mentioned this before, the possibility of post MGS5 us going back and doing almost like remastered episodes. I think now that James is on the show, we'll probably do some sort of MGS1 return. And I know we've been getting a lot of popular demands for us actually seriously doing a good Twin Snakes episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of sitting around my kitchen table and just speed talking about it.
Do Twin Snakes. I'll twin them snakes.
So, and thanks to the Dolphin emulator on like most pretty standard tier computers can run Twin Snakes like perfectly. So
yeah, we got it. There has been like tweets. Boss Logic tweeted out this post of concept art of Chris Evans, Christian Bale, John Bernthal, and Henry Cavill as Snake.
Oh shit!
John Bernthal would be an interesting Snake. The other three, fuck them.
Can we get Kiefer Sutherland in there?
No.
I know, I'm kidding.
I don't actually know what Kiefer Sutherland looks like.
Do you not? He's the lead in 24.
I know. I've never
You've
seen
never
24.
Seen him? You've never even seen a picture?
I don't think I have. I assume he looks like Bruce Willis.
He does not.
No, he looks nothing like Bruce Willis. Have you seen Lost Boys?
Yeah. Oh, he looks like my dad. Not like my personal dad, but just like my dad. You know what I mean?
In general, like a father. That guy looks like a father.
Not my dad, but he looks like a dad.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Good for him.
Good for that dad.
Yeah.
Good for that dad.
He's a good-looking dad.
He's in
I
a
wanna meet
he's
that
in a
dad.
bunch of shit.
Yeah, nothing like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, what up,
No.
Young Guns?
Bruce Willis looks like an
I
angry
forgot
penis.
that Kiefer Sutherland was in the Twin Peaks prequel movie. Look at that.
Oh, wow. What's he doing in there?
Think
He's
about your dad.
Yeah, guy. I want to meet that dad.
Generic
your dad
FBI
like?
man.
Give me your dad's email address.
www.dad.
.com.
Dad.
.dad. Steppeppers.dad. Yeah, so let's finish up our discussion of Metal Gear Peace Walker. Metal Gear Solid. Fuck. Metal Gear Solid. I always leave that out. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Cue music.
I always found it
hold
weird.
on. Cue Fumbling in the Dark with Isaac. So
No.
Sam, hit him with it.
Fumbling in the dark with Isaac Lim. Do.
Isaac, what did we do last week?
Last week, I had a really relaxing Saturday. It was
what did we do the weekend before that?
Why you always gotta be so fucking
crap.
sassy?
Alessio, my memory only goes back 1 week.
Wow. That's intense.
It's a configuration I have. I can change it.
It's
a
a raid.
disease.
It's a raid.
I'm not naturally like
this.
this. It's a
actually
disease.
Condition.
Yeah, Isaac, what happened on the first half of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker?
All right, so let me walk you through what is known as the Peace Walker.
Let's go on a peace walk.
Come with me to this Peace Walk Where your name is Snake.
Okay.
And, all right.
Great.
Bear with me now.
I'm here.
Bear with me
All right,
now.
and there's big nukes all over the place, but
Big
you don't
nukes.
you don't know
Big nukes all over.
you don't know why or where or what.
The combination of
like,
words "big nukes" cracks me up.
You don't know
I
why
like
or
big
where.
nukes, and I cannot lie.
Is
What's
big
Snake doing with the big nukes?
is a big. You know
This is
what?
excellent.
He doesn't even know. He's because he's big. He's big. He's Big Snake.
Big Snake and the Big
He's a big
Nukes.
boy.
My favorite band.
Anyway, so your mission is to figure out,
dear.
if you can, where these nukes are coming from.
They're so big. Where are they coming from?
The big nukes. Oh no! But there's a twist.
Oh shit. There are some invisible tiny nukes too.
There's a guy with the red hand who you have no idea.
Not the
he just
red
comes out of the
hand.
blue.
Is it a big red hand?
No, it's a little hand.
Oh, that's
Shit.
It's not even a
disappointing.
normal sized hand.
I'm only satisfied by big hands.
But he's got. It's crazy. He's got a lighter on the end of it, which I
What?
think is insane.
He can create fire with his finger.
What the?
What a
That's all
marvel.
you
Lighter-
need
what
to know
the-
about Red
Perfect.
Hand. That
Perfect.
he doesn't come back.
That's
up.
all you need to know?
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Daddy Ocelot's in there too.
No.
Daddy Ocelot.
Oh, who am I talking
Yeah,
about?
what
Daddy,
the fuck? Hold on, Ocelot's not in this game at all.
He's in the
Not
background.
only is Ocelot not in this
He's just
game,
peeking
but you call him Daddy Ocelot.
I love it
I
when
had
you
a
call me
slip
Big
of the
Ocelot.
lip. I meant
And
to
I
say
loved it when
Daddy
Sniper Wolf
Otacon.
showed up.
My B. If you can forgive me.
You're forgiven.
but
Did you just call him Otacon?
Daddy Otacon has no legs.
Oh, gotcha.
And he has-
Daddy Otacon.
He has this contraption.
hold on. For the record, he does have legs. He just can't use them.
Don't work. Wow.
He has no legs.
Coleman took his
Zero
legs.
I'll tell you who took his legs. A lady who
Ooh.
broke his heart
Oh, damn.
in Vietnam.
Shit.
But that's
wow.
for another story. That was
Perfect. I think you nailed it. I think
So-
that's exactly what happened.
Is that what happened? Oh, and there's this rebellion in Costa Rica, I believe, and they do
Whoa.
stuff, and they're drug lords in the background, or not drug lords,
What?
weapon
They're-
lords,
They're lords of war.
lords of weapon.
Lords of the Flies.
But they're trying to stop these nuke people, and
Hold on. Nuke people?
the
This is
Big
all taking
nukes.
place in Nuketown.
yeah, nuke land as they refer to it. But then they get into a bunch of brawls between Russia and what are they called?
As it was known historically, the Cold Brawl.
Oh yes, the Cold Brawl. Sorry, thank you, James, for
Yeah,
filling
no
that
problem.
piece
This
of
all started over
information.
a spilled beer.
What? And then that's where we left off, right?
Yep, that's perfect. So right after we're in the midst of the cold brawl. We just put down the last of the AI weapons. So we fought the
Fucking
chrysalis.
cocoon.
No, excuse me, cocoon.
The cocoon.
And we're about to go deep into the secret base with the big nukes.
Getting in the base of the big nukes.
Deep.
Track down Holy God Man and Hot Cold Man and Dr. Strangelove, and we're gonna stop worrying and we're gonna learn to love the Peace Walker. That's what we're gonna do. But yeah, that's it. Yes.
I missed something.
Oh no, what'd you miss?
The Peace Walker has somebody's familiar voice.
Whose voice?
Whose voice?
Mother Snake.
Oh, Mama Snake.
Mama Snake.
I love the idea of the boss's name being Mama Snake. She is a little Mama Snake, though.
Big Mama Snake. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. No, that's a different Mama Snake.
Now we've got a complex.
Oh no.
Oh, no. And now we've got problems.
Before
Very nice.
we get into the discussion, I always thought it was strange that all of the games, like I get it's because it's like series recognition, but all of the games starring Big Boss were called Metal Gear Solid still.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Metal Gear before Snake became Solid Snake was just Metal Gear.
that is weird.
One and two, and then post Solid, it became Metal Gear Solid.
Brandon.
Interesting.
What's the conspiracy?
Also, Metal Gear Rising is the right and stuff.
It's true.
What the fuck?
And
What's going on here, y'all?
Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, Metal Gear Acid. So it's not even necessarily a recognition thing, because like we all know.
Yeah. We all know what Metal Gear
Maybe
means.
it's because it's the quote main series, I guess, because it's like Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 3, and they were the numbered sequels.
What would you suggest?
Metal Gear.
I would just say Metal Gear, like
Metal Gear Big.
like Metal Gear Big.
Big Gear Solid.
Big Gear.
Metal Gear Dads.
Yeah.
Peace Walker.
Yeah, Metal Gear Dads would be a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a Metal Gear Babies at some point.
It's like
You call it
Muppet
Metal
Babies, but
You
with
can call it Metal Gear Snake Eater, but if that doesn't
You
work,
say Metal Gear Snake Beater?
Eater.
No.
That's the
They're
porn.
Still in a dream, Peace Walker.
I like.
Yeah.
You know what I've always liked is because the Virtuous Mission was the first one or the second one.
This is the first one, because then it becomes
first one,
Operation
okay.
Snake Eater, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Correct?
I think Metal Gear Virtuous would have been a good name for it if that was
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
the whole thing.
Or Metal Gear Origins. And Ubisoft could have been a producer on it. Cool. So yeah, we're picking up at main op number 19. We're infiltrating the underground base.
Get in that base.
Yeah, this is a fun. I am a big fan of this section of the game. So once we get into this underground base, it becomes very familiar. It feels like Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 hallways a little bit.
Yeah.
Just sort of this like cold, sterile steel hallway. And particularly with the HD version of the game that we all played, having the camera mapped to the right analog stick really makes these feel way closer to like the older games for me. And so I enjoyed them. This first mission, if I remember correctly, it's just kind of like sneaking through and trying to use the elevator and stuff like that, right? So it's like you enter this little facility, and there's a bunch of... it's interesting. Sam, are those supposed to be pupas that we're seeing in the hangar? Right?
I think so.
Because there's a ton of them. So they're just like mass-producing these fucking pupas.
Oh, yeah?
Which is
Yeah, I guess
nuts.
they are.
Yeah, because like the Shagohod, which is kind of the pupa, was the sort of
Right.
like big bad in MGS3. So it's intimidating to then see like a huge warehouse just like packed to the brim. with
Right.
them.
Yeah, that's scary.
So that's kind of neat. But yeah, we have to go through this to get to this elevator and get down. There's like, I think there's a POW hidden behind some of the crates over here by these pupas. And once we go down, it then becomes this cool sort of like multi-level hallway with dudes everywhere. And we encounter, I believe for the first time, shield guys.
Yes.
And these
Shield
guys,
boys.
Yeah, these guys suck.
The guys do
They
suck.
got big. They got big shields.
The shields are too much.
The massive.
I don't want to deal with it.
Oh, I'm fine with it because I just fucking walk up behind them and throw them down.
Well,
But they always travel in pairs.
yeah.
And so, but their other dude doesn't have a shield. So you can just like pop him in the head.
That's true.
I
I'm
don't
bad
think
at
any of
this
these
game.
boys are wearing helmets either.
Bad at this game. Shoot him in the ass.
Yeah, pop him in the beehole.
Pop them right in the anus.
Oh, and I believe... no, I believe we got the sneaking suit before this. Never mind. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we get down here and we discover Peace Walker. And let's talk about this cutscene for a little bit. This thing's pretty intense. Effectively, what happens is Snake turns a corner, and Snake sees that Hot Coldman's there, Strangelove is there, a shit ton of mercenaries are there, or I guess CIA. I don't know. I'm quite unsure as
Yeah,
to... Are these
The
actual...
Allegiance.
agents, or is Hot Coldman just recruiting a shit ton of like random mercs to help him with his like black
The
project?
vibe that I got was that it was a bunch of random mercs, and
Yeah.
like because he was kind of like operating kind of on his own,
yeah.
but like he's kind of doing like a double thing. Like he had his mission from like the people, and then he had his own thing.
Yeah.
And so he needed his own army.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway,
See
we
a
show up,
bitch.
there's a shit ton of dudes. Strangelove is like doing some testing. Hot Coldman's like, cool, blah, blah, blah. Like, what next? And she's like, well, we're fine for today. Like, let's come back and test some stuff. It feels very much so like, Snake's here, everebody. Let's pretend like we're going
Right.
into the other
Yeah.
room for a second.
Yeah,
And
let's
it's like,
see
oh,
what he does.
no.
Haha, wink, wink. Let's go look through the window.
And so essentially, and this is, Isaac and I laughed a lot about this, actually. This is the funniest part of a cutscene in this game. They all walk away, and you see Snake looking at Peace Walker from around a corner. The camera pans, and there's literally like a second and a half, and you just hear like, ta, 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 and then you hear like a, and like Big Boss just jumps. And like, dude, it's nuts. He's
just
so
there.
far from the Peace Walker, but when it makes the cut,
He's quick.
He literally just like 3-point full court shots himself
Yep.
into
It's
the
literally
cockpit hatch.
like straight out of Twin Snakes.
Oh, dude, it's nuts. Like, if you were to see, like, a wide shot
Yeah.
of this happening,
He's a
it's
fast
like,
boy.
like Big Boss would become superhuman
Yeah.
for a second.
Yeah, he's got a very tall vertical leap.
Yeah, I wish he could run that fast all the time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
right.
30-foot vertical. Like, come on.
But yeah, so he just fucking slunks on in
Boom.
there. He hits the 3 points. He wins
Slam
the game.
dunk.
And as soon as he does that, they're like, "Gotcha, bitch."
Yeah, like, we fucking fooled you. We were in the other room.
Yeah, we were all right.
We were
here.
right here.
What's funny though is before they do that, Snake has like a conversation. Like the whole time he's been like, "I don't want to talk to that AI. She's not real." But then when nobody's around, he's like,
Yeah. He's like,
"Tell me."
he's
Tell me.
like,
like,
let me-
why'd you do that?
let me open up for a second. Like, what's
Yeah, he was like, "Why'd you do that?" Like,
Yeah,
he
and it
just
doesn't
keeps
know.
asking.
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't know what he's talking about.
yeah, because the
Yeah,
AI
it
hasn't
doesn't know
been
yet.
given that information, and so the
doesn't have
AI
the
is just like,
information.
we never went there. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And he's like getting
Really
very emotional.
fucking upsets him.
Yeah, he's
Understandably so.
He's crying under his iPad,
Yeah.
which has got to hurt for that fucked up eye he's got. In there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they quite literally like lift the walls from
Yep.
his room, and they're like, "Gotcha, bitch."
There's like,
Like,
surprise.
And then there's this quick QTE that the first time I did it, I didn't fail it, and so Snake, it ends the cutscene with
Yeah.
Snake
Grabs
pulling
key card.
key card off
Yep.
her chest,
Very important.
which is weird.
It
because it's like a
articulates
touch
Very
almost through
differently
boob.
what's going to happen next if you don't perform that QTE.
Yeah. Did everybody here also perform the QTE
No.
correctly? Okay.
I did not.
Okay. You
That's
said you
quite a
did.
long
You
QTE.
did, Sam?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's quick.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that I did it without fucking it up.
Yeah. I like
And when it doesn't reset.
it doesn't
Just
reset.
like it's like, okay,
yeah, it's
cool,
either you
and
did
you're
or
like,
you
oh.
didn't. And like I almost like what happens if you don't do it better than like having
weird.
it because it's kind of cool.
Okay, so James, tell us about what happens if you didn't do it.
Yeah, so like basically when you get to the point where you're escaping from the torture chamber, Snake, pulls like his shirt off and shit, or his shirt might already be off. And the snake scar that he's got,
Yeah, which we'll talk about here in a second.
is like this like hardened, like knife wire type metal, and he fucking painfully pulls it out, and he cuts through the lock to get out.
Which is crazy.
That's fucking metal as hell.
Yeah. If you did it correctly, you just happen to have a key card in your inventory.
Yep.
Which makes no sense because like if they cavity search this dude,
You would
like
think,
where
yeah.
did he keep that?
Yeah. The one cavity they didn't look at.
His prison wallet.
Ew. But before that, we essentially have an entire. This is a main op that's effectively just one big ass cutscene and then a room,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, Snake is captured. This is the sort of obligatory Metal Gear torture scene, I
Yep.
guess.
I'd argue, which, as much as I love this game, I'd argue the most bullshit, worst torture sequence in the series.
From like a mechanical standpoint.
Yeah, it hurt.
Oh no, yeah. So from a play standpoint, this is intense. This is
Yeah.
probably the most intense it's ever been.
Yeah.
From a story standpoint, I think this might actually be the most emotionally mature moment in Big Boss's history as a character.
Absolutely. Yeah, the moment itself was great. I was just kind of I actually had to go back and watch that cutscene without playing it because I was so mad at the button mashing
Yeah.
by the time I got done with it.
If you go into the cutscene menu and watch it from there, it's still like you can still interact with the torture element, but there's no health bar.
Right.
So you can just like not press the button and it'll play through fine.
Which is great.
Yeah. So just to set the scene, so Snake is hung up on like a meat hook, kind of like he was in 3 when he gets his eye shot out.
Yep.
And she takes the bag off of his head, and it's just him and Strangelove. And she says that she convinced Hot Coldman to like let her get some alone time with him because she said it was to procure information to complete the AI pod. And so she's got these 2 fucking hardcore electronic stun batons.
Yeah.
We'll see these come back in 5.
Yeah.
Which are also used in sort of a little bit of a gruesome manner. Here, I think the comic book aspect kind of takes away from like
a little bit
the fucked upness.
Yeah.
Real quick, this game's rated teen. There's teen children playing it. There's torture in here.
Yeah. Torture.
It's just literally
Just
torture.
straight up.
It's a part of life.
So speaking about
Well,
that,
it's
though,
something. Well, it's what James said we were talking in the first episode, the first part. James mentioned like maybe the comic book aspect of it lets them get away with.
Yeah. I think it
More.
definitely does. Because like you can have like very mature themes, and like as long as you don't show it to like actual
In, like, a
humans, like there's
realistic
just like
way,
weird
yeah.
fucking lines that you can draw, which is
Yeah.
like goofy. Because like this is very like psychologically disturbing if you really break it down.
yeah. So this was actually censored in Japan.
Really?
This cutscene. I was watching a Did You Know Gaming video or like some deep cut YouTube video, and this was replaced with 2 sticks, like 2.
Oh, I know what you're
devices
talking about.
that
Yeah.
they're tickle
Yeah.
devices.
It's fucking hilarious.
I'm not even fucking kidding.
What?
So Strangelove will zap him, and instead of screaming in pain,
laughing.
he laughs.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so fucking
Yeah.
weird. I'll see if I can
That
find
is
the
bizarre.
Japanese
Tickle
version of the
torture.
cutscene, and I'll put it in the show notes.
Tickle sticks.
She's got some tickle sticks. But anyway, so the reason why we talk about this being an emotionally mature scene is like, I would argue.
Well, maybe not after the tickle sticks.
No,
but
not after the tickle sticks.
in
No,
America.
the stun rods. Yeah, in America. Well, but I think either way, no matter what he's being tortured with, the way that Snake reacts to this scenario is the most emotionally mature I think he is ever as a character.
Yep.
And I think they try to do this a lot in 5, where he just like doesn't speak as much, and
Right.
he's supposed to be like processing what's happening.
Right.
But I think for the entirety of the series up until this point, every fucking character just talks in text. Like they're not talking about subtext ever.
Right,
Like it's not
right.
like anyone's ever having a conversation about like a typical thing that happens on like network television is like a couple's arguing about a dog, but they're not actually talking about the
Right.
dog, they're talking about their relationship. Like I don't even really think Metal Gear even gets to that level
No.
with conversations. Like it's never like, oh, 2 characters are talking about a gun, but really instead of a gun, it's about their love. And it's
Right.
like they don't even do that. Like
Right.
this is a game series where characters just kind of outright talk about things directly, and that's it. Like it's just like I don't know that like just that's just how it is because it's like a pulpy action thing,
Yeah.
right?
Which is great.
And so this is sort of like the first and kind of like the last moment in this game series where Snake is continuing that trend of kind of just talking directly and about things
Yeah.
like in a sort of like surface level. But it's very much so acknowledged by Strangelove, who's frustrated with like, no, fuck you. I want to have a real fucking conversation about your relationship with this woman. I think she can see through his bullshit.
Yeah.
And she calls him out later, but he just straight-faced is being questioned about the boss and like what she did and yada yada yada. And while he's being tortured, while he's like emotionally being tortured, while she's screaming things at him like you fucking killed this woman, like she died at your hands, like
Yep.
you're a monster. He just has to say like, no, she turned on her country,
Yep.
and I had to put her down. That was the mission.
Yeah.
And he just keeps saying it over and over and over, and he's just but the delivery, like David Hayter's delivery is so like he doesn't even sound like he's in pain.
It's really nuanced.
Yeah.
You know, you dig really deep into, you know, like he's not going to give this woman what she wants to hear.
Yeah.
Because he knows what he did, and he knows, you know, he's kind of got the upper hand in here. It's like this weird, like, disarming type of scene because, you know, literally she has the upper hand because she's got him tied up and torturing him, but he's got the only thing that's going to make her chill out, and he's purposefully withholding.
Yeah. He's withholding it so hard that he's physically being, like, nearly killed, and he's still just like, no,
it's very
fuck
cool.
you. Mm-hmm. It's nuts. I think the other big thing, too, from this is, like, him withholding that information, knowing that it would also make him feel better to just open up about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he's, like, hurting him, like, he's punishing himself in the process.
Yeah, because, like, he almost has to believe
God.
a certain chain of events and, like, the context behind the events to continue doing what he's doing.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So, like, he's denying himself release, and he's denying Strangelove release, and
He's, like, denying peace for the boss's ghost.
Yeah,
even.
it's deep.
Yeah, it's
deep,
crazy.
yeah,
This is
don't...
nuts. Like, I was like, there's no way it's the same fucking writer. It's good.
This one scene was written by somebody totally separate.
It was very good. And also Strangelove's dialogue, like, a lot. I feel like, so specifically the dialogue in this particular game, I feel like it's a lot of characters just calling each other out for bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, hey, like, what? Like, that's not how people talk.
Yeah, what
like,
are
what
you
do you mean? What are you
talking
doing? And in other Metal Gears, it's like people just kind of exposition dump at each other.
Right.
And so it's refreshing to have this game where Strangelove is just like calling him out, and she's like, dude, no, like, be real with me.
Yeah.
In the end, it ends up fucking Snake over anyway, though, because Strangelove's like, you not telling me told me everything I needed to know.
Right.
So it sucks, but this is a fun thing from a gameplay standpoint.
This is one of my favorite scenes of the whole game, honestly.
Sam, do you want to talk about the pain involved in this, even for us as the player?
Jesus Christ. I almost feel like it was intentional.
No, yeah, it's like it has to have been, but it also kind of sucks. Like,
yeah, it sucks. Well, because it's just like, you know, in the other games with torture sequences, it's just like the other ones where you have to mash a button to keep your, you know, oxygen up or something, some mechanic where you have to mash a button to not die. And you do it 3 times and it gets increasingly more difficult and your health depletes, but you have to keep mashing triangle, I think it is, in order to keep your health up. And then the health keeps dropping and then it doesn't replenish at all in the intervening time. So by the time you hit the last one, it's virtually impossible to keep your health up. So I kept on dying and dying and dying over and over again.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off so much that what I wound up doing was I wound up taking the eraser side of a pencil and just doing that, and that worked.
that's crazy.
Another interesting thing about that scene and, like, the pain behind it, 'cause she's clearly trying to get information, but it gets to a point where, like, he's just telling her to kill him. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He's just like, kill me.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
do it. End it now. And like, the context there is, like, super interesting because I don't think it's like he's in so much pain he wants to die. I think it's just like, fuck, like, I'm not giving you anything. Like,
Yeah.
you can do as much as you want, put me in as much pain, but you're going to have to fucking kill me.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's good. It's crazy. Sam, it's funny. I thought I failed and that the cutscene just ended and that it was made to be, like, impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got through on, like, a smidge. Like, there was a microscopic amount of health meter left, and it just happened to be enough to let me continue.
Oh.
Even with my like trick, I still barely had any health. Like it's
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I tried, and I tried my best to hang on to, like, to keep doing it, and I thought, like, well, maybe if I die, it will continue like the last cutscene, and it does not. You have to succeed.
Yeah. Button mashing as a gameplay mechanic's never been great, in my opinion. No.
It's true.
But yeah, so right after this, you wake up in a prison cell. It's kind of like MGS3 style, but unlike MGS3, where you have so many different ways to get out of prison, this one, it's just kind of one. That's it.
Get through that door.
So you either have the keycard or you don't. And if you don't have the keycard, you still have another item in your inventory,
Right.
and you just blow up. But real quick, before we forget, Strangelove points out. So Snake keeps saying, like, "Oh no, I'm not harboring feelings for the boss.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not still thinking about her." And she points out something that's fucking crazy. Because he's shirtless, and prior to this, if you decide to play as him without a shirt on, you will notice that he has this, but it's never addressed until now. Strangelove goes, well, why do you have a fucking replica of the boss's scar on your chest?
Yeah.
If you're not harboring.
Yeah, what's
anything?
that about?
Also, she's like, why are you still wearing that fucking bandana she gave you?
Yeah, she calls out the bandana, which is like cold.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god. And so, like, dude, for me, it was like realizing that Snake was so enamored with this woman that he was like self-mutilating himself to like, yeah, it's fucked up. But anyway.
Also very intelligently self-mutilating himself to give himself an advantage in case he gets into trouble. And I think that the implication, because they talk about it a little bit in like one of the cassette tapes, I think, but I think like it was a failsafe in case he needed to kill himself. Like if he was captured in a way that like there was no purpose in escaping, like he'd kill himself.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you sneak out. Here's the shitty part: you don't have any of your gear when you get out, and there's actually like a fair amount of dudes in there.
Yeah, yeah. There's a good amount of people in
There's
there.
quite a few dudes. You have
And
to, like,
they want to
sneak around.
fight.
Yeah, is it tough? Did you guys have a hard time?
Yeah, because
no,
I'm bad
actually,
at
I
the
had a
game, but
pretty-
like, nah. There were tougher parts. It was like it forced me to slow down a lot more than I thought I would. Which I kind of liked. Like I like being forced to slow down. So
How about you, Sam?
Yeah, I think the what am I trying to say right now? When you were trying to escape the cell, doing that before the guy came back was a little stressful. But aside from that, like it's just as long as you took your time, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it sucks because like since you don't have any of your gear, like what I ended up doing was like I ended up CQC throwing the guy twice to get him knocked out. But then I was like super anxious because I was like, he might wake up before I get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no way to like permanently put him to sleep.
Right.
So I just like, not only that, I was so used to playing with the sneaking suit
yeah,
that I was like, oh no, people
Yeah,
can
they
hear
can
my
hear you now.
footsteps. So I ended up walking really slowly and just CQC throwing people one by one
Yep.
as I was encountering them. And then at the very
There
end, I was like,
are-
there's like a whole other half of the room that I didn't fuck with. And so as soon as I got to the door, I just like booked it and happened to just barely get out of there.
Well, so there are some Fultons you can find
Oh.
in that room.
Oh,
So
really?
I just was like, and there's a prisoner too somewhere in
Fuck.
there.
Well, not
Yeah,
only that,
I
but I'm
did
sure
not
the
have
dudes
that.
that are guarding that room are probably pretty high rank, given
Yeah.
the difficulty of getting them.
yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I wound up doing that, and it was very good. But yeah, it was a good mission. I liked it. It was the cutscene was very, very like one of the best like character development cutscenes in the series, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think James was telling me too that it wasn't until this half of the game that he became more invested.
Yeah, like the first half of the game I was just like I was enjoying it, but I wasn't like super like all in on it. And then like this shit happened and like I don't know, it just like clicked on another emotional level for me that it wasn't hitting before, and I was like, fuck, this big boss character I'm really fucking into.
Yeah.
And the cool thing too is we'll talk about this later, but in probably our
Co-op,
extra ops
extra ops.
episode. But there's a we talked about like how all of the systems in this game work together. There is a extra op mission where you play one of the soldiers, MSF soldiers, collecting his gear from the base while he's being tortured and escaping.
It's super cool. I love it.
Yeah.
There's also a moment that's going to come up literally between these two missions. So spoiler alert, the next mission that we're about to get to is like, I think we're in the same arena as the Cocoon battle,
Yeah.
but now we're battling Peace Walker.
Right.
I believe.
Yep.
Either that or it might, no, maybe it's inside the building. I think
No,
it's
it's
inside.
I think
Is
it's
it
the
outside?
same thing, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's right. So it comes up from the ground.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So we fight the Peace Walker in that same little arena. There's an extra op where you're playing as an MSF soldier, just like hunkering down and killing all the soldiers that are trying to come outside to battle Big
Right,
Boss.
right.
Yeah, so you're not interrupted.
I
which is
love
just
it.
like
That was so cool.
Yeah, that's a cool bit of context too, because it's like you would think like this fucking facility would have people trying to kill him, and it's like, where are they? It's like, oh, your boys are taking care of him.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so mission 22 is a boss battle, another boss battle with the Peace Walker. I didn't find this boss battle to be as bullet spongy, sort of egregious as the other ones.
Yeah.
I I felt like this one was a little bit easier, but I don't think you have to take it. You can't kill it all the way.
No, I don't think you can. It definitely wasn't as bullet spongy as like some of the other ones that it was. Go on, Sam.
Well, before we get to the boss battle, there's also like some more stuff about how Galvez and Paz are missing.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's the interstitial codec, right, between mission 21 and 22. So yeah, you get back to the base, and Kaz tells you, I think during one of the codecs, he says that they both have gone missing. They haven't been able to find them.
This is where he's talking about how like Paz hasn't been at the school.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we checked in with the school, and like Galvez
They've never
hasn't
seen
taught
her.
there,
Yeah.
and like Paz hasn't been to school in like over a year.
Very suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Boss like, I gotta go.
You come back after you escape. You come back to Peace Walker's hangar, and you find Hot Coldman with Paz, and essentially, Hot Coldman tells Snake that Peace Walker's complete because of what Strangelove learned during the torture sequence, and Peace Walker is gonna fire a nuke at this place offshore of the Caribbean, which just so happens to be exactly where Mother Base is.
Yep. So the stakes are pretty high. It's you're about to lose Mother Base.
Yeah.
And Hot Coldman has Paz that you're trying to rescue.
Right.
And it's
like,
crazy.
Gee, it's a bummer that they know where Mother Base is.
Yeah. Well, and so check it out too. Like this is sort of, and I told James this, and I think I told Sam as well. I feel like Peace Walker has the best stakes situation at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than any other game in Metal Gear. Because it feels like super urgent. Like you're like, fuck. And this is where it starts. And I would argue that like this, so like we're in phase 1 of like high stakes.
Right.
Phase 1 of high stakes is they're going to blow up Mother Base. They've got Paz. This would have been peak stakes for another Metal Gear game.
Yeah.
But they say, hey, we take your MSF fear and we're going to ramp it up another 5 levels.
To the world.
And like, yeah, it gets out of hand. It gets crazy
Gets
in a
way
good
out of
way
hand.
where everything just feels...
Yeah, like, oh shit, like, we gotta fix this.
Yeah, like I don't
now.
know. I would say more so than like Mass Effect 2 and some other games.
Yeah.
Like this one felt like there was some shit on the line.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we fight Peace Walker. I don't know if you can take it down fully with its health, or if it gets down to like almost dead and then it runs away.
Yeah, I think it gets almost dead, and then like it ducks out, and you get like another interstitial.
Yeah, and so essentially, if I remember correctly, this is we damage the mammal pod enough to get it to fuck off, and right before we're gonna kill it, Hot Coldman flies over in a helicopter.
Yep.
And shoots at it, and the reason for it, and Huey mentions this when Snake encounters it. So Snake is like, "How are we going to slow down Peace Walker? It's marching towards the coast to launch this nuke." And Huey says, "If you shoot at it at all, its orders are to deal with attacks on itself before finishing launch orders."
Right.
And so Snake just like takes a pot shot at it with his rifle, and so Peace Walker's like, "All right, fuck it, let's rock."
Right.
And then Hot Coldman flies over in a helicopter and he shoots it. And then he's like,
so it'll
follow
follow
me.
her.
Yeah. But it's a pretty standard battle. I mean, you just shoot at the pod. So like, I don't
I'd
necessarily think we
argue-
would talk too much.
I'd
about it.
argue, aside from like maybe Pupa, this one was the easiest battle, like boss battle.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
by
game.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
if
shows
you-
that
if
you're
you-
damaging components, but like you don't get a chance to get inside of the AI to pull the...
Right. Right.
If you like what I figured out to do was if you stay behind it all the time, like never let it like face you, all you have to deal with are the S mines essentially. And then as its health gets lower, it kind of dashes around the arena a little bit, but it's really easy to not get hit by that.
Well, unlike the Cocoon, the S mines don't even really like have that big of a distance.
Right.
Like I feel
You
like
just keep moving.
Yeah, I think with the Cocoon, like the fucking distance was intense. Like they would like trigger
distance was huge.
really far away from you, and then they would
Just fucking
still
goofy.
hit you, and you're like, okay. But yeah, so essentially, the Peace Walker runs away with this helicopter. It's slightly damaged, but Snake needs to finish it up, and thus begins one of the saddest moments that kind of ends this chapter, which is Snake looks up and sees the boss's horse.
Yeah.
And Snake's like, fuck it, I'm going to get this horse and we're going to go after Peace Walker.
Which that QTE, I guess you'd call it, was very good, I thought.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. So we get this motion graphic QTE where we're riding the horse alongside Peace Walker, and you have to like keep pace with Peace Walker while also dodging like missiles and shit.
Right.
And it's like a side. It's like facing the side, so it's like a side scrolling thing. So you like mash the button to move forward, and you let it go to kind of ease back.
And you're going from right to left as opposed to left to right.
It's pretty cool. That's interesting.
And then there's another one where you go and you're facing forward, and it's the camera's behind you, and you have to avoid these trees that Peace Walker's knocking over.
Yeah.
And that's actually pretty fun too.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty like you don't die and then it resets. It just kind of shows you like a quick little insert window of like you slowing down.
Yeah.
And like Kaz will be like, no, keep going, dude. Like you got this.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty good. It's not like you have to redo whole sections if you fuck
which
up,
is good.
which is great. But yeah, the way that this ends is Peace Walker just like hits a fucking mountain and just like vertically climbs up it.
Yep.
And Snake's like, well, what are we gonna do? No, I think really the horse is like, what are we gonna do? And
Maybe
Snake's
climb
like,
this
and
mountain.
Snake's
And then
like,
Snake-
we're gonna climb.
Yep.
I
loves
thought
to
that
work.
that whole scene was that part especially was funny. I think because he just straight up like Skyrim's that fucking horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me and Isaac were playing this part together. So we were playing this part together, and as soon as he hits the side of the mountain, we're like, oh shit! And then he gets to a certain point where you see the horse like trip, and then Snake jumps and continues.
Yeah, he
to
treats it
run
like
up.
Yoshi.
Yeah, he just like keeps running, and the first words out of my mouth to Isaac were, because he runs to the top, and then he sees Peace Walker like swimming across the channel or whatever, and he's like, well, fuck, I can't catch up now. And so Kaz is like, we'll come back to base, we'll figure it out. And immediately I look at Isaac and I go, what about the horse?
Yeah. What about the horse?
And then the game is like, yeah, what about
Yeah.
the horse? And I was
Yeah,
like,
what
oh,
about the
no.
horse?
This is a very upsetting scene.
Yeah, and so
I want to see Isaac. Do you want to talk about what happens to the horse?
Yeah.
and like that whole
cue
thing.
us up, Isaac.
Oh my
Yeah, cue us up
gosh.
here.
Why do you want?
Isaac was actually, I'm not going to lie, Isaac seemed very uncomfortable with this sequence, as was I think.
So yeah,
I felt
then
bad.
It shows like an overshot of the horse just like shaking. 'cause
Oh,
you know,
dude, yeah. It's like convulsing.
Yeah, the horse is in rough shape. You can't
Yeah.
make a horse climb a mountain. Like a vertical climb. It's not
and
meant for
that-
horses.
that shot itself was like, oh my gosh, this horse is gonna die some
Yeah.
way.
It's like, is Snake going to watch this horse like
Yeah.
twitch out of existence? Like, what's happening?
And then Snake comes down and
Does his fucking job.
yeah, he knows what he has to do. As all horsemen do. You know, if you got a broken leg on a horse, you gotta shoot him in the head. That's what they say.
All right. Straight to the point.
So
Yeah.
yeah, then he pulls out his gun, and major flashbacks come rushing up to his, to us, and it's the scene from Metal Gear Solid 3 when you have to fight boss, and it's just
It's real sad.
it's real
Yeah,
sad.
it makes you do a QTE to kill the boss again, and then it
And
makes
then
you
the
do another
horse.
QTE,
Yeah.
and then the horse. Yeah, it's rough.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it
And
makes
they
you
like quick cuts between them too.
Yeah.
Right.
Not only are you killing the boss again, but you're killing the memory of the boss as well, like the symbolic killing of the boss by killing the horse. It's rough.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
again,
was-
really good subtext. A little heavy-handed because they do the flashback thing, but like I think it serves its purpose really well.
Also, can we just talk about how like if Big Boss and Boss meet in the afterlife,
Yeah,
Boss is just gonna say to him like, so you had to fucking kill me and my horse,
Yeah, right.
and like my kids,
Yeah.
and like my everyone.
why
that I
are you
love.
like this?
Like, why did you kill everybody
Like,
attached
for
to my
fuck's
life?
sake, you're such a
Yeah.
dick.
this.
Even going back to 4, his son winds up killing Ocelot, who
Her son. Yeah.
her son, yeah, like actual child, like God bless it.
So yeah, Big Boss just wiped Boss off the face of the earth.
Gotta do it.
But yeah, so we put this horse down.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
This one stuck with me. Not gonna lie.
I think when you kill the boss, it like the gunshot rings out and then we see the horse thing. But then when you kill the horse, I'm pretty sure like as soon as you pull the trigger, it like cuts to black.
Yeah,
And it's just like, oof.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where we end up. So that's the end of chapter 3. Is Big Boss goes back to the base, and they sort of try and regroup. Like, hey, we need to go save Paz. We need to figure out where they're going. Blah blah blah. And so we do get a bunch of more cassette tapes and stuff like that, and a bunch of extra ops unlock. But effectively, chapter 4, the illusion of peace, is going to begin the final leg of the game's story for the most part. So yeah, mission 23. We have to infiltrate this missile base. So there's a U.S. missile base hanging out in this Nicaragua line. It's interesting because all of the oh man, I think I completely forgot their names. All of the freedom fighters. What are they called?
Fucking
Sandinista.
yeah.
Yes, Sandinistas.
So the Sandinistas, their whole big thing is they're hardcore with what they've been doing with this guerrilla warfare because they have not been back to their home of Nicaragua for a very long time.
Real long time.
And so Big Boss effectively like gets them to help him cross over from Costa Rica into Nicaragua, which is where this U.S. military base is.
Time to go home.
And it's actually, there's a cool little beat where they talk about that as they're kind of crossing over or whatever. But there's some interesting shit that's happening here because there's this U.S. missile base on this southeastern shore, and there's like a comm tower where they're controlling Peace Walker. And so whenever you show up, Kaz is like, hey, head for that communications tower, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, it's weird because when we get over there, Snake makes a comment while you're sneaking where he goes, why are all these soldiers Russian?
Yeah.
And, like, for me, that was, like, a tip-off that, like, oh, fuck, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
And so we're going from sort of these MGS1, MGS2 kind of, like, sterile hallways to, I would say, MGS3 base-looking stuff.
Yeah.
And it almost, to me, this base is kind of like a proto-Camp Omega from Ground Zeroes.
Oh, definitely. Big time.
I got some real Ground Zeroes vibes.
Definitely.
But yeah, you're sort of in this multi-level, multi-map. I think it's like 3 or 4 maps, but there's like a lot of verticality. There's like
a lot of verticality.
Basement
I actually
stuff.
really liked this one.
Yeah, this is a cool map.
And there's a bunch of so it's a bunch of Russian soldiers, and then a bunch of drones flying around.
Yeah.
Where are they rushing to?
Wow.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Sorry.
That laugh.
Woo!
Sorry.
No, it was great. So we head to this control tower for Mission 24. Mission 23 and Mission 24 kind of bleed together, and I don't even really understand why they split them up other than because A,
You need
the
your
mobile
shit.
thing,
It's
and B,
well
you need to
the
recuperate your...
the second half of the like the next mission is very much like backtracking, and it's essentially like a huge battle. It's like a huge boss battle. So I'm kind of glad they did split it up because
Yeah, I agree. That's true. Yeah, so I guess this control room that we're going to in this first infiltration is different than the control tower.
Yeah.
That's the confusing part.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the
yeah,
control
you're
tower
going
is
to
where
the
the big story
room, and
moment
then you're going to the tower from
right,
the room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny, and I'm going to link this in the show notes. I was watching, so Matthew Matosis is a really good YouTuber who does these long-form reviews. I knew that he had done MGS 1, 2, and 3. I did not know that he had one on Peace Walker. So I watched that, and it's like 45 minutes. He makes a really good point, which was, why did this game totally could have been presented in like an MGS 3 style way, where it was just like one big thing with no mission breakups,
Yeah.
except for side stuff.
Right.
And he was like, well, the only thing that makes sense is they maybe they broke it up because they wanted to create these smaller play sessions so that you could like play a mission on the bus.
Yeah.
But he was like,
Well,
but
that's exactly what it was.
yeah, but he was saying that methodology is a little weird because like some of these missions are so short that you're definitely going to want to play another one. But then you're going to be in the middle of that mission when you get to where you're going.
Right.
And he said also the PSP has a standby function.
That is
Like
weird.
every mobile console now has a standby function.
Yeah.
So he's like, chances are you're not going to stop playing after one mission. You're going to just play until your trip's over.
Right.
And then you're just going to throw it in a standby.
Right.
So he was like, why the fuck was this even a thing?
Yeah. It is weird. And it does like it feels clunky at times, especially in like situations like this where it's like I'm not going back to the base and then
Yeah, why would you?
getting all my shit
Yeah.
and coming back.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's like you could have just made the ammo carry amount higher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it might also be a holdover from the whole Monster Hunter thing, where they're like, we're trying to replicate Monster Hunter.
That's possible.
But anyway, so we get to this control room, and if I remember correctly, so Hot Coldman's in the control room. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a real fucking
Yes, sir.
who's who family reunion
Yeah,
style.
everybody. So we show up to this control room. Snake sneaks in. Paz is there. Hot Coldman's there. And while they're talking, and Hot Coldman's kind of doing his villain speech to some extent here.
Just classic villain
And
speech.
we're seeing all these feeds of like where Peace Walker's at on the TV screens in the background. And he's talking about how they're going to wipe, like essentially it's what we've already talked about, but with extra detail.
blow
Where he's
some
like,
shit
we're going to
up.
blow up MSF. The whole world will know what we're doing
Peace
here.
Walker's
blah,
on
blah,
the screen
blah.
just traipsing about.
Yeah, and in the midst of this, Dr. Red Hand.
Fucking this asshole.
What did he give his full name at the beginning?
No, he just gave
Professor
Professor Galvez at the beginning.
Yeah. So Professor Galvez all of a sudden rolls up, and you're like, what? And he's in here with all these Russians. And so, like, remember, like, Snake called his ass out for
right
being
away.
Russian.
Right away.
KGB.
And turns out that Paz is working with him as well, and that the KGB was assisting Hot Coldman
Yeah.
and got Snake involved. 'Cause
Wait,
they wanted to
did we
take
find
over.
did we find out about Paz yet at this point?
No,
Or-
not
No.
yet. No. We don't find out about Paz until like the end.
No. The
Yeah,
implication
very
here is
end.
like Galvez is like manipulating Paz to like manipulate Snake.
Yeah, so Galvez manipulated Paz to manipulate Snake, but Snake's disruption would then allow for the KGB to just take everything from Hot Coldman.
Yeah.
Which is why you're fighting like CIA people for so long. And you
Yeah.
don't start fighting Russians until now.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty pro move on Galvez's part.
Great move.
I think it was pretty
Very
dope.
smart.
Well, so he reveals his name at this point, which is not Galvez. It's Vladimir Alexandrovich Zadornov,
A very Russian name.
Mr. Doorknob.
Correct. And so shit goes off. Like essentially all these Russian dudes show up and hold everybody at gunpoint.
And they're pissed.
Yeah, Zadornov takes everything, but Hot Coldman, I believe, says that like he's the only fucking one who can turn off this Peace Walker nuke situation.
Yep.
And Zadornov seems to be quite pissed off about it.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember, does Zadornov take Hot Coldman into custody and then leave the room?
What the fuck does he do? Yeah, I think he takes him into custody and he leaves.
Well,
the
no,
room
because
he's like,
remember he tries to make Paz shoot Coldman.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that. So yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
Zadornov
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
a gun to Paz and says like,
You do this.
fuck peace, like you kill Hot
Yeah.
Coldman. And she can't do it, which I thought was cool. Like I didn't want her to do it. I was
Yeah.
like, please pause. And then Zadornov shoots him.
Right.
But Zadornov doesn't kill him. He like intentionally like misses.
Right.
Right.
Right. Because he needs him to turn these fucking nukes
Yeah,
off.
turn the nukes off. And so Zadornov then
Well,
takes,
not turn the nuke off. Aim it towards Cuba.
Right.
That's right, yeah,
Turn it
redirect
off
it.
from where it's. Yeah.
Yeah, because Zadornov's whole thing is like, we're going to fuck everything up and blame it on the Americans.
Yep.
And then come in and sweep up, which is great.
Good move.
Good move.
Smart strategy.
Pro strats.
Yeah, so
Leap
Zadornov
straps.
leaves, takes everybody with him, and then Snake's in full alert mode with a ton of equipment and needs to get the fuck out.
Oh, and fucking this is such a great fucking mission.
It's
fun.
Because you remember.
insane. This
Oh,
is like
'cause you
the
remember
most
how-
cinematic this game's missions get, I
Oh
think.
man, because you remember how I've been playing this game very stealthily and very carefully.
Yeah.
I accessed my deepest, darkest Sam in this mission.
There are a lot of enemies, dude. I'm looking at the enemy count. This
Oh
mission
my
has
God.
over 30 enemies.
Yeah, that's
I
nuts.
murdered everybody.
Oh my god.
Well, I feel like this level's very difficult to do at all. With
Oh,
stealth,
yeah,
because I
I
think
feel like
everyone's
you
on full
ha-
alert.
Yeah.
Like that's what they want you to do. I think is just kill everybody.
Yeah, you need that battle dress, by the way, because I got to the end of this mission several times without the battle dress and got fucking
Yeah.
put in my place.
Yeah. I guess that's another reason they break it up too, is because they know you'll need to change your outfit.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you could have just put that in the main menu. That's how it was in MGS3.
That's true. It's
Well, I was
weird,
gonna
yeah.
say too. It's just like you could change it, or like it's the same thing that we mentioned. Is just like make your carry counts higher and let you have
Yeah.
more than 2 weapons.
Yeah, or like give you you can pick 5 outfits to take
Right.
into the field with you
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially what's going on here is everybody fucking knows you're here. You kind of end up doing a little bit of backtracking here, where you go back through 2 or 3 of the maps from the
Yeah.
previous mission, but then you take an alternate route because a door has opened that was not
Right.
open before.
This first backtracking, I was like, I don't mind this. 'cause
No,
it's,
yeah,
like, balls
yeah,
on the wall
Yeah,
fight.
it's 'cause you're
and I don't mean
actually, like-
backtracking like in a bad way. I
Yeah.
just mean like literally.
You gotta
You're
go
just going
backwards.
back through the map. So.
But it sucks because everybody knows you're there
Yeah.
from the get-go.
Yeah, there's
So like
no.
as soon as you come out of the hallway, there's like dudes coming at you. There's drones. There's a fucking sniper across the way.
Dude, fucking snipers.
Yeah.
Oh, I
and so
sniped
this,
his ass.
yeah, this put me on my ass. I ended up, I think I kept the Fulton and a trank gun.
Yeah.
But with the battle dress, since you can carry 3 weapons, I definitely had like some fucking hardcore machine guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to just blast through this however way that you feel comfortable. And then when you
Which
get to
that's
kind
why I
of
think that the intention was to just go lethal through this because like they just start you off in alert. They don't give you a chance
yeah,
to like. Beat
and I don't
down.
think the alert.
They don't
goes
even.
away.
They don't even like make you like make it like evasion mode or like the green, and then like make it hard to like sneak by. They put you straight up in like you better fight some people mode.
Yeah, you're in permanent alert. Like I don't even think there's an alert in the bottom right. I think it's just everyone
Right.
knows where you're at
Yeah.
the whole time.
Right. Yeah, you can't lose them.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because it's part of the
Yeah, it's part of
thrust.
the. Yeah.
So when you get to this
But
little
yeah.
this T-bone kind of like junction where if you keep going kind of down, you go back the way you came. If you go through these huge storm doors, you then end up in this like hallway of death. Can you tell us about this hallway, Sam?
The hallway of which one?
This big ass. So you enter the huge like storm doors, and as you're running, dudes are shooting at you from behind for the first section.
Yeah, they're just shooting fucking rocket launchers and sniper bullets.
It's
you just
crazy.
have to fucking serpentine your way down that shit. Don't look
Oh,
back.
I
Don't
whipped
try
around.
and-
I turned around and blew their fucking brains out, and then kept going. Like
I just kept running, man. I was
But
just
you're
like,
on a timer because there's another
Yeah.
storm door is closing.
So you have to get there in time. So I just kept fucking running, and
I ran out of
it's
rations,
intense.
and as soon as I got to that point and the door started closing, then a bunch of dudes come out in front of you,
No, jeez.
and I was just like, motherfucker.
Yeah. So you think you're free and clear, and then they come out, and you're just like, God damn it! And then you have to deal with them somehow. It's intense and it's good.
Yeah. And then once you deal with them, you take an elevator, and then once you get off the elevator, you're in another sort of like funnel that's kind of pushing you. But I think it's the last map.
Yeah.
This last map actually killed me too because I didn't fucking realize until recently that you had to shoot those barrels.
Oh yeah.
So there's like a bunch of bridges, and you're running through this like again, it's sort of like funneling you down this path.
Yeah.
And there are buildings on your left and to your right, and you're kind of in this drainage canyon. But there's bridges and there's snipers and rocket dudes everywhere.
Right.
And I think Kaz literally says over the codec, like, you got to do something. You need to detonate whatever.
Yeah,
and I think at
gotta
the
get out.
time I just said fuck it and ran through. But if you shoot the barrels, there's like straight up environmental destruction. Like
Yeah.
parts of the bridge will explode.
It's great.
Like, buildings come down.
Feels good.
And then when you get to the end, to the mouth of this little thing, I think then the camera kind of looks up at the command tower and kind of does that cool like shaky push in, and then it ends the mission, or it does like cutscenes. But yeah, it's pretty sick.
It's very good. Very good. There's like, but the one thing about this mission that I love too is at the end you have to fight a bunch of like armored guys, and then in the courtyard is a helicopter that's flying around. And while
forgot
you're
about this.
doing this, that Donna Burke song just starts playing, and it's excellent.
Yeah. What is it called? I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember.
Oh
It's,
man. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a very cinematic.
Oh,
scene.
not Sins of the Father. That was in the. Wasn't Sins of the Father in Phantom Pain?
I think so.
Yeah, Sins of the Father's definitely in
Oh,
Phantom
Heaven's
Pain.
Divide. Heaven's Divide. Yeah, it's pretty
Like,
good.
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It just felt like that moment in 3 when you're climbing the ladder and then the acoustic Snake Eater just starts playing the acapella Snake Eater.
It's weird. I'm looking at pictures of Donna Burke right now. I didn't realize what she looked like. It's
Is she cute?
It's interesting. She just looks like a blonde mom.
Yeah, she kind of looks like
No, I mean she's
Yeah.
like a pretty lady, but like it just means she's like
she looks like Kristen Bell's mom.
yeah. It's weird. She looks kind of like the boss.
Oh yeah, that
Uh-oh.
yeah, it's true.
It's kind of weird. It's like the boss with long hair.
That is weird.
But yeah. Pretty cool. But yeah, so you fight that stuff. That was for me it felt like it never fucking ended, Sam. Like you talk about that courtyard. I had like just bested going through, and the first time I did it without the battle dress. So I just like barely gotten through with no rations, that fucking death tunnel. And then I got to that courtyard, and I remember I was like, "Oh, cool, the end's coming up. Like this is the doorway to get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And then when like dudes poured in and a helicopter
Says a
showed
lot.
up, I was like, "Are you
Not out of the woods yet.
kidding me?" Like, it just felt like very
I
like
was-
Nathan Drake, like being bombarded, and he's like, "How many of you are there?" But I don't know. I found it really funny. But I eventually got through it. It's good. There's some gun turrets. Yeah, pro tip: get on those gun turrets.
Gotta use gun turrets.
Yup.
But yeah, so we finally get through there. Sam, with this cutscene right after, is this specifically? This is when it finally gets into like oh shit mode, right? When the government gets involved.
Yeah.
Okay, so effectively, what ends up happening here, and you guys feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to make sure that my memory is correct. So essentially what happens here is Snake gets to the control room area. Peace Walker is like gearing up to shoot this nuke, and everybody's freaking out because, if I remember correctly, the data that is being transmitted, because it's no longer firing at MSF, right? Or is it still firing
Right.
at MSF?
Right now, it's
think it-
firing at
Cuba.
Cuba.
Yeah. So it's been rerouted to fire at Cuba. And the coordinates and the data and all of that are being sent out. I think Hot Coldman had it rigged up to where it like sent all of the missile data.
Yeah, so it's like transmitting like missile data to make it look like a bunch of missiles are going out, right?
Yeah.
That. So like, if you're in the United States, wherever the fuck, like you're seeing what appears to be a bunch of missiles coming from the east to attack you. With the intention being that like they're gonna retaliate and like this one missile's gonna hit Cuba and then like shit's gonna pop off.
Yeah. And so everybody's freaking the fuck out, and we get these really cool like essentially what ends up happening is like we get this cool moment where Snake is not only battling Peace Walker, but it seems like the MSF crew shows up too to deal with Zadornov and everything. So
Yep.
it's sort of like all of our friends come together.
like a
Yeah,
full-
the
it's a full
MSF
war.
and all the Sandinistas come in and like take him out. And
Yeah, they're just wrecking shop. And so effectively, if I'm recalling correctly, so Hot Coldman does get shot. And they manage to grab him, and they manage to grab Zadornov and Paz and
Right.
everybody and load them the fuck up and take them back to base.
Yep.
And so Miller is dealing with the Zadornov shit, trying to get codes and shit from him while they're transporting him.
Right.
While Snake is going towards Peace Walker with Strangelove to
Yeah.
deal with it.
So
But
you
everybody
gotta take
seems
care of
pretty
this shit.
chilled out because they're like, oh, this will be great. Like,
Yeah.
we're fine. We got it all under wraps.
Right.
Like, we're going to get him to turn it off, blah, blah, blah. And Zadornov instead then triggers the data shit. That's
right.
what it is.
That is what happens. Yep.
And
that's what
not
sends
Zadornov,
everybody
Hot
into like
Coldman.
panic mode.
Yeah, Hot Coldman
Yeah.
triggers it, and he's like, it's too bad I won't be able to see this world.
Yeah, because he's dying from
without
his
peace.
gunshot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like, you'll never be able to turn it off without my biometrics.
Yeah.
Fuck off, have a day.
Yeah.
And just like close
I do love like the trend of like people dying on command.
Yeah.
They're like, I gotta say my dramatic thing. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Buh.
dead. And so Miller's like, fuck, he's dead. What are we going to do? And before Snake has his grand idea, we do enter another Peace Walker battle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I do love Snake's amazing idea that's going to come up.
Yeah, snakes.
But yeah, so enter Peace Walker battle part 2.
fuck.
And
This is when I had to play with Alessio.
Yeah, Sam and I had to co-op blast through the rest of the game. Yeah, I don't understand how the fuck I beat this one man, because this thing is a bullet sponge and a half, man.
Yeah, it wants you to spend some significant time here, just like camped out, shooting and blowing it, and
Fucking supply drops for days.
Supply drops all over the place.
Yeah, thank God Isaac was there the first time I played through it, because I'm pretty sure we just like talked while I did this.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't even have memory of doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I worked.
It gets
while we talked.
super
But
repetitive.
you got
It's
it
just
all,
like-
man. It took like 10 minutes, but you just kind of just kept shooting it.
Yep.
I was just like looking at Isaac the whole time, and then I like looked back
We were
up
just
and I was
talking
like, all right,
about
we're
random
good.
stuff.
Yeah, we're halfway there. Yeah.
The first couple times I had done it, I ran it soaks up bullets so badly that I ran out of supply drops.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I just couldn't do anything.
Oh wow.
So then
I wonder if I just like
enlisted
happened to have
Alessio.
like high enough rank guns to where I did enough damage before running
Maybe.
out.
I don't know if I was like, my guns were ranked up enough to do that, but who knows?
It was crazy. But yeah, so let's talk about the phases in this battle a little bit. So essentially it opens up with Peace Walker already kind of primed to launch a nuke, and you've got a minute and 20 seconds to do enough damage to get it to stop.
Yeah. Which, like, the time limit thing's, like, pretty cool because it's, like, heightened urgency.
Yeah,
Like,
and it does it a couple times throughout the
Yeah.
boss fight where, like, it'll be fighting you, and then it says, like, fuck off, and it sets back up to, like, shoot
Right.
the nuke, and the timer's, like, always lower.
Yep.
I think when me and Sam beat it the third time that it set up for the nuke, like, we got it as low down as, like, 14 seconds.
Whoa.
or
Yeah,
something,
it
or
was
something.
stressful.
But yeah, so it'll do that, and you have to do enough damage, I believe, to the pods, or
Yeah.
is it to the whole unit?
I think it's to the pods. Or maybe it's the whole unit, but, like, the pods do more
take the
damage,
most
yeah.
damage. So yeah, we're continuing to damage the mammal pod and the reptile pod. So this currently it has got
Right.
2 active pods that you can
Yeah.
attack. And what ends up happening is after you knock out the knock it out of its like nuke mode, it then like notices you again.
Yeah.
And it's like fuck off, get
It's
out
like,
of
are
my
you
face.
kidding me?
And so it'll do kind of a mixture of like machine gun fire. It'll shoot these like missiles that drill into the ground
Yeah.
that then will pop back up and
Yeah.
detonate later.
Yeah, those things are upsetting.
Yeah, and there's just enough time to where like you forget that
That they're there.
they're there,
Yeah.
and then they get you.
Yeah.
It does the S-mine thing. Once you get it to low enough damage, it will do like a boost across the map.
Yeah.
Which is just like this huge sweep that like there are like 3 places on the map you can hide that it won't get you.
Yeah, or if you're just like having to luck out, you can like stand in a spot where it's like you go between the legs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's difficult because not only are there legs, but in the middle there's like a bunch of just like hanging parts
Yep.
that can all hit you.
Yeah, it's tough not to get
It also
hit.
has a flamethrower, right?
It does
Is that
have
right?
a flamethrower, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. And then it'll launch missiles straight into the air that come down on you, kind of like some of the OG Metal Gear Solid 1 bosses. And it's kind of cool. It'll like weave in and out between buildings that you can't get to. So
Right.
you can kind of like take pot shots from like a distance.
Right.
But yeah, so Sam and I 2-manned it. It was actually a lot of fun. It was way easier when we would 2-man it because I think we did this fight another time to get Metal Gear parts, maybe.
Yeah.
But I know that when Sam and I were voice chatting, we were using Discord to talk while playing.
Yeah.
It actually turned into this fun, like, oh, hey, she's doing drill missiles. Like, I'll focus on the drill missiles, like you focus on the mammal pod.
that's cool.
And I'll just, like, knock them out before they
Yeah.
dig in. So
Yeah,
became
it
this
definitely
cool-
feels like, as with a lot of the bosses in this, that like this was meant to be played with multiple
Yeah.
people.
Multiple
Yeah.
people.
It felt like,
like-
like an MMO boss,
Yeah,
right?
because like it is a grind
Yeah.
solo.
It definitely felt, Sam, it definitely felt like a Final Fantasy 14, like,
yeah, oh yeah, for
dungeon
sure.
boss
Like,
or something.
like we're fighting a primal or something.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, and so after this, you damage the mammal pod enough to where it goes down, right? Like it totally just like trails off, and
Yeah.
Snake goes inside and starts taking parts out.
Right.
And so they're like, the only way is to like kill the brain.
Yeah.
And so you're pulling all the AI
It's
parts
also
out.
sad.
Yeah, because you hear the boss. She starts talking.
Yeah, and like
And then she slowly
deteriorating.
becomes more and more like
Yeah.
brain dead.
Yep.
And it's like, oh. And I
It's
think in the
like-
midst of this, she does all the train stations.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just the train stations.
Like the weird Japanese, like,
Yep. It's like, oh, good. Snake gets to kill the boss
yeah.
for a third time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is super upsetting. And like I was like
Yeah.
exhausted. I was
Yep.
like, no.
Yeah, this is a lot.
But so after you
Because not only did this happen like after this exhausting boss fight, but now you have another heavy emotional scene.
and so right after you pull all this stuff, they're like, yo, the info's still getting pumped out.
Yeah. Oops.
And they were like, and like the US is like ready to launch some missiles.
Which I fucking love, like I'm trying to remember what the line is exactly. We're like, oh, the information's still being popped out, but somebody pops in, they're basically like, yeah, the reptile pod's gonna finish the job. And I was
oh,
like,
that's right. Yeah.
"Ooh."
So they were saying like much like a human, where like if most of your brain shuts
Yeah,
down, like
it's-
part of your brain will still carry on like motor functions and shit. And so they were like, we have to kill the reptile pod
Yeah.
in order to get it.
So good.
And so I believe the and Sam, so Big Boss's big crazy plan to make a phone call.
Yeah,
that doesn't
call.
happen until after this like Demon Souls-esque anti-boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, so essentially we get Peace Walker Battle 3, which is this main op.
Wait,
26.
no, because isn't...
Yeah, because I think he damages it and it's still freaking out, and then he makes the call, and then it does its walk of shame, right?
Yeah, I think... Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay. So essentially we get this third Peace Walker battle, which is like, what the fuck is there left for me to do?
Yeah,
and like
right.
I kind of expected is like, is it going to go into like hardcore overdrive mode?
Yep.
Like I don't know if I can handle this. But instead it's almost like the end of Demon Souls, where like the big bad is like kind of this like fucked up, shrilled up thing, and like it's like an anti-boss fight.
Yeah.
So like
cool.
you're taking shots at the pod and it's like bleeding oil, and like the whole thing is shaking. Parts of it are like falling off.
Yep.
Like it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's sad.
And so whenever you do this, which again, like that's the whole thing. Like you just shoot at it a bunch and it dies. Like there's not a real battle here.
Right.
They're like, it's still transmitting the fucking data.
Yeah.
And they're like, the only way to stop this thing is like to break into the reptile pod and shut it all down from the inside, but we can't open it.
Right.
And they're like, how do we open it? Can we move it? What can we do? And they're like, you can't even open that thing with a nuke. Like
Right.
it was designed to withstand like nuclear blast. And so somebody, I think it's Strangelove, gets the idea that the water pressure deep enough down might fuck it up.
Yep.
But they're like, well, how are we going to move this? Like, how heavy is it? And I think Huey chimes in with, oh, it's 50 tons.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
And they're like, oh. And so they're like, well, we can't move it. What are we going to do? Everything, all hope is lost.
Yeah.
And Snake's just like, give me a phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Yeah, Snake immediately is like, I'm gonna solve this with a phone call, guys.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be fine.
And throughout this whole thing, I believe before this, it does show you like little interstitial cutscenes where like the United States, what is it? What's the name of the group?
The
NORAD.
chairman of the Joint
NORAD.
Chief
NORAD,
of Staffs.
Yeah,
NORAD.
So NORAD's like they're all meeting together to try and figure out what the fuck to do. And so
Yep.
in the middle of these Peace Walker boss fights, not in the middle, but in between, during the cutscenes, we're seeing like these dudes gathering, being like, "What do we do?"
Yeah.
Yeah, they're setting up like retaliatory strikes and things like that. And
It's
Snake,
crazy. And the
patches into
timer's
the Pentagon.
just rolling down. Like
Yep.
everyone's like, "Oh my god, global scale nuclear holocaust is
Right.
about to happen." And Snake calls, and somehow he gets through. He like verifies his identity and stuff.
Yeah.
And the head of
Well, so
There's
yeah,
he
go-
verifies his identity to the chairman by being like, "Hey, remember after the Snake Eater mission, how I didn't give a handshake
yeah.
to the
yeah,
guy?"
to like the head of the DCI.
Or when I
or
snubbed your
whatever.
ass.
Yeah.
It was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then he follows up with like, "Oh, of course I'd never forget because I was standing right next to him."
Yep.
And it's just like, "Oh shit!" And then he does this amazing fucking thing where he's like, they go back and forth, and it's really tense because like the chairman's like, "I don't know if I believe you," and Snake's like, "Look, you have to. If you don't, like, it could mean everything." And this is kind of this whole scene. I feel like is directly painted to be like, "Look, Hot Coldman was right. Like
Yeah.
these motherfuckers are gonna back down." But instead, like they're pretty hardcore about it. Like they're like, "No."
Well, one of them. Well, the chairman is like, "Yeah, we have to stop this," and the other guy's like, "Nope," and he aims a gun at him. He
Yeah.
points
Yep.
a gun at him.
It's crazy. Well, so before the chairman's like, "All right, I believe you. Cool. Have a good day, big boss." He goes, "I hope when I see you next, you'll shake my hand."
Fucking
Yeah.
so
And I was
dumb.
just like, "Oh, that's
like, whatever.
yeah." But then as soon as the chairman's like, "Cool, we got you, big boss. God bless. Tell your mother I love her." The rest of the people on the board start
Yeah,
pulling out
they're like,
guns and
fuck
shit.
this, and they're very much just like, listen, if we're gonna die, like, we're gonna take them out too, and
Yeah.
like, you don't have the authorization. And he's like, I got the fucking authorization now, and points a gun at him,
Yeah.
and it's like,
And
whoa,
it's getting intense.
we suck.
And I can't.
Which like after this was all taken care of, what do you think happened to him?
Yeah, what was that? What was the next
Because
op?
They
that's
definitely,
some,
like, throw him in jail,
like,
right?
he
Yeah.
got that man
There's
got
also,
court
they talk
martialed
about like they can't
for
get a hold of
sure.
the president, right? Like that's another big like piece of
Oh
this.
yeah,
is,
so
like,
the president's at the SALT II talks.
yeah,
talking
right.
about nuclear
Disarmament.
with like other world leaders.
Yep.
Which, so I will say this, you guys. So Sam, actually, real quick, I know James just talked, and I heard you talking in the background. Would you mind restating that point of what you just said? I didn't mean to. Everybody. Talk
No,
over
I was
each
just
other.
gonna say the guy that after that was all resolved, that guy was gonna get court martialed for sure.
Oh,
They
yeah.
threw him in a brig.
Oh yeah. But during the Salt 2 talks, they kept bringing up the Salt 2 talks throughout the game.
Right.
I thought they were gonna fucking aim the nuke at the
Salt 2 talks. Right.
And I was
I
like,
also
that would have
thought
been
that was what was coming.
fucked up if they're just like all the world leaders are
Yeah.
dead. But yeah. So anyway, Snake thinks everything's great, and then that shit happens. I kind of wonder what it would have been like if Snake would have hung up the phone before the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because then Snake wouldn't have known.
Right.
And like
Yeah.
everything would have just gone to hell
Yep.
anyway. But so Snake's like, well, fuck, we got to figure out something because these assholes are cock blocking each other. So he hangs up the phone and he's like, we got to figure something out. We got to figure something out. Everybody's freaking out. I'm freaking out.
Right.
Like, things are happening. And then all of a sudden, Peace Walker just like stands up and starts singing
Which is beautiful.
and then just like walks itself into the water.
Yep.
And everybody's like, no, I think it's the Carpenter's song. That
It
comes
is.
on.
No,
it
it
is
is the
the
Carpenter
Yeah,
Carpenter
yeah.
song.
So
Yep.
like, sing a song comes
Yeah.
on, but it's Big Boss's voice actress.
Yeah,
singing.
pretty fucking troublesome.
And she just like walks herself into the ocean, and Snake's like, "What the fuck's happening?"
Yeah.
And Strangelove is like, "I don't know, but it's like part of the boss understands that she needs to protect all of us."
Yeah.
And maybe like something like some sort of ghost in the machine,
Yeah.
some sort of residual.
Yeah. Yeah, they talk about how in the end the boss still chose to put her gun down.
Yeah, right.
And how like she's living out the end of her life again, as she would.
Yeah.
Because my AI is so fucking good.
Yeah.
That's basically
she-
the implication.
It would have been amazing if Strangelove just like looked into the camera and she's like, "That's why you should buy it from me."
Yeah,
motherfucker."
exactly.
But yeah, so for like the 5th time in this game, Snake gets to watch the boss die.
Yeah.
Jesus.
This game is just a highlight reel of the boss having to relive,
Yeah.
or Big Boss having to relive the boss's death.
Well, and thankfully the NORAD folks aren't like, "Yeah, let's definitely detonate it while there's plenty of time on the clock." Thankfully, they're like, "No, we're just gonna let this fucking clock
Yeah.
run out and all of us die before we hit the button," because they like it deactivates all the information right before
Yeah, it
the
would hit.
timer
Yeah.
hits. And then all the little nuclear symbols on their
Fucking
screen
hilarious.
become butterflies
Yep.
and peace signs.
Yep. Very funny.
And that Carpenter song is still playing. And now every time I hear that Carpenter song, like I get goosebumps. I'm just like, no. But then Snake does something like really beautiful where he just like takes his bandana off and just like throws it into the water.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, what do we do now? And he's like I know what I have to do.
Yeah. Kind of like.
He becomes like,
That's
this is
the
the moment.
moment.
Yeah, this
Yep.
is the moment where he just rolls over.
Yeah.
And he's just like, we gotta fucking kill
He's
everybody.
like, I'm a bad guy now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like.
They're like, well, what do we do? And he's like, we got to build MSF to be the biggest fucking
Yeah.
thing ever, so that like no one ever has to go through this again.
It's like it's part that, and it's like part like he's so disgusted that even this AI version of the boss fucking put her gun down. And he's like, no.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, absolutely. Instead of being like emotionally tender,
Yeah.
like everybody else is, he like hardens up more.
Yep.
And he's like, no, she put her fucking gun down
Yeah.
like an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm going down fighting.
Yeah.
And it's weird to me that like Strangelove, Huey, Kaz, all these people that like actively reflect, like, look at that beautiful self-sacrifice,
Yeah.
and like, isn't she an amazing human? Why didn't any of them like say like, hey, Big Boss, I think you're getting the wrong things from this?
Yeah. Right. Like, hey, maybe see it from a different perspective, man.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
And so then we roll OG credits,
Yeah.
like beginning, like normal credits, and I can't remember. It does do a post-credit sequence here, right?
Does it?
I think it does, right?
I think
Sam?
Well, doesn't he have the
it does.
conversation with Kaz about how he wants to live his life differently from the boss and decides to embrace the name Big Boss again?
Is that not after?
I think that's the end.
That's the end.
I think
No,
there's
that
one
happens in
before.
chapter 4.
Does it?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, that's right.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I think so. And so anyway, yeah. So essentially, what we
Okay,
just
yeah,
said,
right.
Big Boss is like, time to double down.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, cool. I believe Kaz straight admits, and if not, like, we're far enough in that fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
here we go. Kaz straight up admits that he knew.
Everything.
No, that was the end. That's the end of chapter 5.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that does happen later. Okay, cool.
For some reason, I thought those were the same conversation.
No,
I
it
guess
has to
was
happen
broken
because
up.
of the pause stuff.
Right.
It has to happen at the end.
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, we're done technically, and the game even says, like, it does say, like, well, it doesn't say Chapter 5 Outer Heaven yet.
Right.
It lets you go back to the base,
Start
and
faffing
after you
about.
do a couple of extra ops and kind of faff around.
Your Zeke has to be.
Zeke has to be built too. It then says, like, Chapter 5 Outer Heaven. So here's an interesting thing. Going back to that Matthew Matosis review, he makes a very interesting point about this specific part of the game as well. He says this weird gap between Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 feels strange. However, it's actually all part of the narrative still, and it's really cool. He said, for the first time in the history of Metal Gear as a series ever, you are finally given the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want when you want, ever.
Yeah.
Like, in no other Metal Gear game could you ever just be like, now I'm free to do whatever I want. I can go and do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's always, like, prescripted.
Yep.
And so, like, much like Big Boss becomes free, like, we, the player, also become free.
Right. Which is cool.
And so we're, like, role-playing as, like, Big Boss kind of hanging out doing his thing.
Totally.
And then we get hit with the... Because remember, Zadornov is in custody.
Yeah.
Paz is now at the base. Everybody's having a gay old time. We're doing extra ops. Everybody's
Strange
chill.
Love's your bestie now.
Yeah, Strangelove's hanging out with
Yeah.
Huey. Like, they're putting their shit behind them. They're chilling.
Yeah.
Everybody's having a good time. And then all of a sudden, Miller's like, hey, Zadornov escaped.
It's like, fuck.
And we don't need that motherfucker getting away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go get him. And that is what begins pretty much every single mission of Chapter 5. Do we want to talk about these individually? Or do you guys want to just talk about all of them at once?
We should just talk about all of them at once. 'Cause they're
This was I
There's 6 of
get
them.
like
they're a nightmare.
I get the idea of why, like, story wise, like in the story, I understand why these missions happen and why they were the way that they were, because, you know, as we find out, they were a distraction. But God, were these ill advised?
Yeah, so essentially what the loop is you'll do a bunch of extra ops. You'll get a call from Miller. He says Zadornov got away.
No.
Snake's like, fuck, I'm going to go
Getting
get him.
increasingly annoyed.
And it is so. Full disclosure, my PS3 crapped out before I got to this point where I was able to do these.
Yeah, so James had like a catastrophic like equipment failure.
It's a fucking nightmare. It is that you do one, you go get them, bring them back, and then you have to do some more extra ops and like keep building, and then Miller will call again and be like, it's not like consecutive once it happens once. Yeah, right. So it is like very long.
Yeah, me and Sam did a bunch of these together, and it's actually kind of neat. So effectively, Sam, I don't think you have to have Zeke totally built yet. I think you have to have Zeke totally built by the end.
No,
Yeah.
I think. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what I was doing was I was grinding Metal Gear components when these Zadornov things were happening.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, I already had up to
Well, because I
5
know I'm pretty sure by the
Zadornovs.
end. No, it needs to have the rail gun. Zeke needs before the final mission, the final boss will unlock. It has to have its rail gun.
Yeah, I also think before the final boss will unlock. Yeah, that's right. But you have to have the basic parts. So see, I only had 2 out of the 4 basic parts when Zadornov started going missing.
Okay.
And I think you just have to complete it. Once you complete Zadornov 6, I think you just have to complete the Metal Gear for the final thing to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have all the optional parts, but I'm pretty sure
No,
the railgun is the one that you have to have.
Yeah, so the way that it worked out was between Zadornov things, I was going through and doing all the extra ops just to do all the extra ops. But I was also grinding some of the stage Type 2, Type 3, or Type 2 and custom pupa and chrysalis and cocoon battles to farm parts for this Metal Gear.
Right.
Because you have to have it built, and I knew that, but I also just wanted to build it. And so I was on Zadornov 5 when Sam and I co-opted and beat the game for Sam. And then Sam and I co-opted up to Zadornov 3.
Okay.
And I think there's 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 6.
And they get increasingly more and more difficult kind of to find him. Literally one of them I beat in, what was it, Sam, like 2 seconds?
Like six
Yeah,
seconds.
6
Yeah.
seconds.
Isn't like 6 is the easiest one to find them in, isn't it?
No, 6 is
the
by
hardest.
far the most difficult one because they don't tell you. So every one has a mission marker.
Right.
Where it's like I think it's like 1 through 5.
Yeah.
It's a mission, you click it, you go to a map. I think with 6,
they
don't-
have
you
to,
don't
know where
right,
he is. Yeah.
right,
They
no, I
give you
think-
like a hint that implies that he didn't leave Mother Base.
right.
Yeah. So I don't think that's a mission. I think you do get 6 as a mission. There is a secret
Yeah.
Zadornov Search 7 that is not actually listed as a main op.
Yeah.
Where
you,
it's
you
just
have
like
to find him.
Yeah, where the final battle
Yeah.
is just locked.
So he's not in his cell, but he's on Mother Base somewhere. It's like,
Well, they don't even say that.
What?
They just say he's not in his cell. He couldn't have left Mother Base.
yeah, wow.
But as like a skeptical player, you could be like, okay, maybe he did though.
Right.
You know what
That's
I mean?
crazy.
They don't give you.
Yeah,
a
it's like
window
he's
on
gotten
it.
out 6 other times. Like, I'm sure he could get off the base.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the implication here is that he couldn't have left, so he might be on Mother Base, which means that like he's hiding in one of the. The idea is that he's on Mother Base, so you have to pick one of the missions that take place on Mother Base, such as all of the target practice.
I think there's only those.
missions.
I think it's just the shooting range and the kill house, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. The shooting range. So you have to do like the first shooting range mission. He's in there.
Yeah, and he's upstairs in a part that most people don't even know
Wouldn't
you
go.
get to.
Yeah.
But I think if you go up there before he's up there earlier in the game, I think that's where you get the T-shirt outfit for Snake.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the ones before the Mother Base Discovery one, Zadornov is literally just hanging out in maps we've already been to,
Right.
and he's just like being a fucking idiot. Like when me and Sam found him, every single time he would just be like sitting in a corner, just like
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
Or he like presses
It feels-
his body against the wall and like tries to be sneaky, but you're like, dude, I see your red hand from like across the
Right.
map.
Right.
It feels so goofy and like kind of like Benny Hill a little bit.
Yeah.
It just feels so goofy. I think, like I said, as far as the plot goes, like that was intentional.
Yeah.
But when you're just playing it, it's just like, what a fucking dumbass.
Well, and even Snake like causes like, hey, so the guards accidentally lost him again, and
Yeah,
Snake's
it's like maybe the guards need a guard.
yeah, Snake just gets really pissed. He's like,
Fuck yeah.
again? Like,
Yeah.
what the like, dude? If I was Snake, I would have just been like, we're gonna pick him up and we're just gonna shoot him in the head.
Yeah. Right.
Like, if he keeps getting away, like, we'll just kill him. Like,
Yeah.
what's the issue?
Or
Well,
keep
even
him-
like not even like kill him, just like you don't even have to kill him, just kneecap him. You know?
Yeah, just cut his legs off, like something. Like,
Yeah.
Well, and especially given how
Yeah.
ruthless the MSF team's about to get in
Yeah, right?
Metal Gear Solid 5, it's like,
Yikes.
I'm surprised this motherfucker lasted at
As
all.
long as he did, yeah.
But yeah, so once we finally find him, he tries to kill Snake with a
Rocket punch.
rocket punch.
Literally, doesn't he say that?
It's so fucking goofy.
Oh, did you say, Sam? I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
Doesn't he actually say like
Yeah, he
rocket
does.
punch?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rocket punch of peace or something like that.
Yeah, he like shoots a peace sign at Snake.
Yeah.
And Snake's like,
Yeah.
it kind of just like bounces off of Snake.
Yeah. He's like,
and then
"Ugh,"
Snake just like shoots
bats
him.
it away. I like Snake, like justifying that. He's like, well, he threw a thing at me, so
Yeah, Snake's been waiting.
I had,
He's, like,
I had to
so
put him down.
pissed.
Yeah, like all the other times he was just hoping he would like attack him or something, but he came back so peacefully, and then finally,
So
he's like,
this
oh
was
yeah, he
self-defense.
smacked me, and I put him down.
Put a bullet in his brain. Yeah, so Zadornov dies, but then there's an alert. So like he kills Zadornov, Miller's talking to him, and they're like, well, fuck, this sucks. And then you hear an alarm go off, and Huey's like, Metal Gear's gone.
Oh shit!
And you're like, excuse me? And they're like, yeah, somebody took Zeke. And so this final battle...
MSF just can't not
deal with
lose key
Pacifica
personnel.
Ocean.
Yeah, so Main Op 33, turns out the big bad the whole time was the 16-year-old girl.
Damn.
So Paz is hanging out with Metal Gear on the deck, and she's like, ha ha ha, boss, I got you all along. But she's wearing something. What's she wearing?
She's wearing nothing. She's just in her underwear, which like is weird. You like they try to explain it away, but like it still doesn't make sense that she's just in her underwear. Like put on like a suit or something. But the best part about this is that Snake is just there, and like she's in it, and she's clearly operating. Snake's just like, what? Get down from there, Paz. Like you're gonna hurt yourself. Don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Fucking cracks me up.
I think it's got to be a cultural thing too, by the way, because like, so we've commented several times on like how kind of gross it is that this so-called 16-year-old girl who like, even though it's revealed that she's like 26 or 27, this so-called 16-year-old's being like, by the game and by the director and by the script, is like kind of being like lusted over. And the fact that she shows up in her like frilly panties, like I get it. So she stole Zeke. She even says like, I modified Zeke because it like never allowed for a human pilot,
Right.
which I think is what officially kind of makes it a Metal Gear.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. She modified Zeke while Zadornov was distracting everybody.
Yeah, so they were working together. And effectively she has to wear underwear or something, like a wetsuit.
Could have put a wetsuit, yeah.
Yeah, wetsuit would have sufficed.
Wetsuit would have made sense.
Because she has to get inside of this cockpit that fills with water.
Yeah.
But essentially she tells Snake, like, it was us all along that wanted to take your shit. And I think she even says that they're going to take Zeke and go,
Back
like...
to Cipher.
Yeah, go take Zeke back to Cipher. And Snake's like, well, who the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
And he's, like, kind of weirded out. He's like, what are you talking about? And so we have this boss battle with Paz. But legitimately, I think it's some sort of weird cultural thing. Because, like, dude... So little idols are like an obsession in Japan, which is like fucking young girls, like 15-year-old girls, like doing like Britney Spears-esque like pop girl
that's
shit.
weird.
But like outside of the young idols thing, it's like this idea of like pure young, like in Japan before they changed the dates on the birthdays of the characters in Dead or Alive, like there's a 14-year-old.
Right, right.
And it's so weird, man. Like obviously, like. They're not very public about like sexual advances to these young women, and they're very like hardcore about that kind of stuff. But as far as like surface value, like you've got like grown ass adult men just like going gaga over these like young girls.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if it's part of that culture, but it's weird. Like surely somebody at Konami was like, this isn't gonna fly in the West.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because again, like T-rated game.
Well, maybe that was what they're thinking is like a teenage boy is gonna be playing a Snake. So maybe the teenage boy would lust after this 16-year-old girl.
I don't think they thought that.
Still really weird.
Yeah,
that's weird.
But the person in the middle of that equation's a 40-year-old man.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Like, even if that was the case, it's just like, that's still not great.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, man.
Right.
There's a quote in an article that I have pulled up right now that kind of makes me cringe. That's specifically about like the Eastern obsession with young girls, and it says a society that allows children to have such a twisted self-identity can never protect them.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
That's fucked up, man.
So
yeah, it was a representative of an NGO that helps human trafficking victims. Actually,
that's good.
Shihoko Fujiwara said that.
Nice.
That sucks. But yeah,
suck.
it sucks.
So this fight's happening, right?
Yeah.
And
Thanks. For
Well,
getting
so
this
before
back
the fight, she talks about she reveals that Cipher is run
she
by,
does
by
reveal.
Zero.
Oh, does she reveal it at the top of the fight? I thought it was towards the end of the fight.
Well, no, she doesn't like say it Zero. She tells a story about how when the boss died, two young men had a difference of opinion about how they should carry on and went their separate ways, and then it was clearly about them, which I liked because Zero is not a young man. He was not a young man during Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah. Oh, and she does tell you that Cipher took her in, gave her her name,
gave her name, her age,
her identity.
Yeah.
And they told her that like she had to manipulate these
and
guys.
What's her name?
Oh god, Pacifica
Ocean.
Good old Pacifica Ocean.
I hate that name. Yeah, it's fucked. But this boss battle is pretty great. I think it's probably like one of the better boss battles in the game.
It's got like a crazy soundtrack to it,
the
right?
soundtrack sucks.
What is going on there? Because I watched this whole fight. Because again, my PS3 crapped out. But like, what?
Yeah.
I thought
I love
it was like a fan
the music
video,
sucks.
and then I read that that's just the song that's playing.
Yeah. So what ends up happening
What?
along this whole like, look at this hot 16-year-old along those lines. While you're in the middle of this battle, which again, sick battle, we're on Mother Base, like we're battling on the
dope.
plant. It's great. And it looks just like it does in like 5 and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's the best. It's the best battle in the game. I think.
And it's a traditional Metal Gear battle, so it's like it's shooting missiles. It's got its railgun. It's doing its thing. And there's also these cool little like terminals. So like there's a terminal for supply drops where you can just like hit the button and they'll drop supplies for you. I could not for the fucking life of me to get the terminal that does the striker thing to work. So
Really?
there's a terminal where like you go up to it, you press the action button, and then they even tell you point out the target and we'll launch it. And I held the button to look at the target. I saw it zooming in. I hit the button and they go, great, like strike on its way or whatever.
And that never came.
But I can't.
The problem is you have to do it when like Zeke isn't moving, because if it moves, it'll miss the target.
Well, see, I never even heard the fucking thing come down ever. It just like never.
It's weird.
So I don't know. Anyway. But while you're fighting her, it's like the first minute or so, it's just like typical traditional battle, whatever. And then about a minute in, like almost music video style, like an artist name with artist information in the studio, the recording, everything comes up in the bottom left, and this like hardcore J-pop just starts blasting.
It is so fucking goofy.
And I was like, this is like a very like intense moment.
An intense tonal shift that we've decided to make.
Yeah. Like, turns out the big bad's the little girl.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And I was like, is she pumping out this music through Zeke? Like, does Zeke have
That'd
a
be
speaker?
amazing.
Like, is this just what she's into? Like, what is
It's
this?
just like weird, like psychological warfare.
Yeah.
She's like, come get me, bitch. And
Right.
just starts blasting. Like, oh, that'd be amazing.
I love you 届いてこの想いきっといつかは叶うよねこんな気持ち切なすぎるの始まりなんてわからないの名前も平凡でどこにでもいそう
But yeah, so you end up fighting this thing. I really enjoyed this fight. Did anybody, Sam, did you like it? Did we do it together? We did it together, right?
No, I did that by myself.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Which-
yeah.
which I was
'cause we didn't
surprised
do all
at
those
that.
doorknobs.
Yeah, which I thought was I thought was great because like it was a boss battle that was challenging enough that it didn't feel easy, but it was like easy enough that you could do it solo. I got an A rank on it my first
Nice.
try.
Which
Felt
is
good about
crazy
that.
because if you look at the difficulty scale, it is the highest difficulty Maynot mission in the game. It's 5 skulls. Mm-hmm. So I was terrified going into it. I was
a lot
like,
of skulls.
fuck. I was like, do I need other people to do this? This is going to be tough. But it's pretty good. There are also these cool little, like, you can, the mother base will trigger, and I think Kaz will tell you when it happens, will trigger, like, cover.
Yeah.
They'll just, like, deploy walls for you to hide behind.
Yeah. Because like Zeke will jump to different like parts of Mother Base and fire railguns at you that do a lot of damage if you're not like hiding.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is the case, but it'd be really fucking cool if it was. I had all the optional parts on her other than the cocoon armor when I fought her. I almost wonder, it would have been cool if it would have been like a way to make the gameplay more like a more modular difficulty, where it's like if you had tricked it out all the way, you have to fight like a hyper hard tricked out Zeke.
Yeah.
Like that would have been cool.
Does not do that?
I don't think it
just
does.
Articulates kind of the same no matter what.
Yeah, I'm not sure. She had
Interesting.
jump jets for mine.
Yeah.
Sam, did she have that for you as well?
Yeah, so well she had all the stuff except for the fucking armor.
Oh, so maybe that is
So
how
it
it
does?
articulates.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if
That's
it did
pretty
or not.
cool.
I just didn't want to say that it did
Yeah.
and then have somebody like at me on Twitter
Yeah.
and be like, "You're a liar."
Which, like, yeah, that's really cool, especially because, like, if you don't know, you're just gonna be tricking this fucking thing out because you're like, it's my
Yeah.
toy, and then it turns against you.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
like that. I like that a lot. I like when games do shit like that.
Yeah, so I like this moment of the game. I hate that they hide it behind these garbage Zadornov things.
Well, it's like I would think that there's like a large amount of people who never get here.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Like, you have to really like playing this game to even get to the point where you realize there's more. If you're not like in the know, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because again, it doesn't say like Chapter 5 until
Yeah.
the first Zadornov
Right.
triggers. But I do kind of like it though because it does make you, to some extent, going back to that role playing thing. It's like I think the first time I played Peace Walker, this happened to me organically. I don't think I looked anything up, and I remember just like after I beat it, I came back to it a few days later and was just kind of like slow life, chilling with it, like the way you do like a Stardew Valley or like a Harvest Moon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was like listening to the little like Walkman, doing the little extra ops, listening to all these tapes where you hear things like so like after you beat the game, before you battle Zeke, if you redo any of the AI battle fights, you can get prompted to find secret circuit board components. And when you find the secret circuit board components, they're cassettes. And so every time you can only collect one at a time, but you collect Strangelove's tapes. And then whenever you're doing the Type 2 and the custom battle AI battles and extra ops, you can collect secret tapes once per time, and they're pauses tapes. And so for me, like, I'm just chilling. It's like summer. windows are up, playing the game, listening to good music, hearing Paz's little cassette tapes talking about starting a band at Mother
like
Base,
playing
with
soccer at Mother
Paz,
Base,
and like playing soccer and how much she like loves being there.
how annoying Chico is.
Yeah, hearing Strangelove talk about like, oh, I'm starting to warm up to this Huey guy. Maybe I was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is these are my boys.
Hearing Dr. Strangelove hit on Paz.
Yeah, which is really creepy.
Very uncomfortable
Yeah.
tape.
Hearing Dr. Strangelove admit to like bathing Cecile every day.
Yeah.
Like a little weird. But no, so I'm like, for me, this is like I'm hanging out with my anime posse and just like enjoying like a nice slow summer.
Yeah, and then
then
suddenly
Zadornov goes
there's
missing,
more
and I'm like,
more
excuse me?
content. Like how fucking cool is that?
Yeah, I love that.
It's a
fair,
cool feeling.
To be fair to the game too, though, like it gives you a lot of stuff. Like Strangelove has joined your crew and blah blah blah. It gives you stuff after you quote beat the game that
Right.
indicates that you should keep playing it. So
It's true.
it's not like if you stop playing it after beating Act 4, then that's your fault, kind of thing.
Yeah, I can just see like for a more casual gamer, like it being like,
Yeah.
oh, it's giving me more cool shit to like fuck around with extra ops for. So like I can see like there being an assumption of like I've just got extra ops left to do.
Yeah,
I think it's cool though.
killed it.
Yeah, I thought it was super good. But yeah, so after this battle, what goes down?
Well, so after the battle, this is when Kaz is just like, yeah, I know who Paz was, I know who
Yeah.
Zadornov was.
Well, so hold up. So first things first, the battle ends and like Paz falls into the fucking ocean. And,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They just kind of like are like, yeah, that's fine. That'll take care of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, Kaz rolls out and starts spoiling
Revealing
shit.
He's like, don't be mad, but
Yeah, I do love it because he's like, yeah, don't. He's like, now hold on, Snake, don't be mad. And Snake's just like, Kaz, what?
yeah, they Kaz was just like, look, we're gonna upset the military balance of power, and we're gonna increase MSF's whole shit, and we're gonna do things. And Snake's like, we have to operate outside of society because people are gonna be after them.
Yep. Yeah. That is like a little bit of like an awkward exchange because like Kaz acts like he's like learning new information from Snake when Snake's like, we're gonna be hunted down. And Kaz's like, what's gonna happen? And Snake's like, I'll tell you what's gonna happen. They're gonna fucking hunt us down. It's like, all right, chill out, guys.
Yeah, he's like, we can never. Well, and to be fair, that is literally
That's exactly what happens.
Like,
Yeah.
Like to a T.
yeah, I mean, essentially, he just says like, we're gonna fucking. Well, after Kaz decides to let known to Snake that his fucking cahoots deal with the KGB.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just like, Kaz, why didn't you think to maybe tell your business partner about
maybe
this?
just let me know. Maybe.
Piece of shit. It's funny to me that Big Boss just like doesn't get mad at Kaz like ever.
They love each other.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
Well,
wrote a whole skit about
remember
it.
the skit, of
Yeah.
course.
It's true.
It's the most pure friendship in a game that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a friendship for sure.
It's maybe more. There's that whole chilling out, listening to the pause tapes. You get a great tape about Snake and Miller fighting naked in the shower, which I think is great.
Yeah, that's right. I completely forgot about that as
Yeah.
well.
But yeah, after all that happens, the credits roll, and then the post credits is Snake addressing Mother Base, essentially saying, "Look, we're gonna serve whoever for whatever, no matter who they are, and we're gonna build our own nation called Outer Heaven."
It's actually a really fucking sick speech. Like, I heard
It
that
is.
speech and I was like, this is real good. Like, for all the campy, like, Big Boss bullshit, this
Yeah.
is great.
It's
Like,
a
it
dope
was very
speech.
much so, like, we don't fight for a flag, we don't fight for an ideology, we fight for ourselves.
Yeah,
Like,
it's cool. Outer Heaven's a good name.
Yeah, I was like, God
Oh,
bless.
and we forgot to I forgot to mention, like, Snake takes Zadorov's hand and lights a cigar with it, which is excellent.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that is a
yeah.
good moment.
Before the credits roll. But yeah, during the credits, I got real sad because because you know how Metal Gear does that thing where it rolls credits, but it does a timeline first.
Oh, yeah, I love the
Oh yeah,
The last entry of the
Timeline's a bummer.
timeline was a 2005 Miller is found assassinated in his home.
yeah,
It's a huge
bums
bummer.
me out.
Which, like,
I love Miller.
for listeners of the show, God damn you, Liquid Snake.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you take that pretty boy away?
Love Miller.
I want to mention something to you guys, and this will become evident, obviously, in the next game. I know James has already been playing. Sam and I have already played. Miller goes through some physical complications.
He goes through some shit that makes him way
Different person.
Oh, he becomes
Yeah.
dark as fuck.
Yeah, it's very sad.
So with that being said, though, like, do you think that Miller was just like the theoretical trainer of Snake and the gang? Because like Master Miller as Foxhound trainer, based on what the fuck's about to happen, I don't think he could physically train these boys if he wanted
No, I don't
to.
think he physically, unless like, I mean, like, after a certain point in time with all the advanced technology in this universe, perhaps like he got
Yeah, some
prosthetics
sort of like
and-
cybernetic enhancements or something. I think it's possible, but I think it is more likely that like he was probably the like emotional, like mental tenacity trainer of everything.
I could see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah,
Definitely hard to do with physical ailments
that's true.
such that Miller will experience later in life.
Yeah. Hand wave. I don't know what you're talking about. So before we transition into sort of a post-show announcements, news for the podcast and all that jazz, let's go around and just kind of talk about final wrap-up thoughts, just sort of general thoughts, final words, that kind of deal. I know for everybody but me, this is you guys' first time playing, so I'm like legitimately extremely eager to hear what it was like, if you enjoyed it. Sam, from you in particular, I'd be curious to hear how this stacks up against the game we're going to be playing next. And yeah, I don't know if I'm just going to pull. So James, what's your takeaway?
I really, really, really enjoyed the whole story here. Like, it touched me on an emotional level that I did not anticipate it touching me on. And I felt really attached to these characters by the end of it, and I recently started playing 5, and I went into 5 with like this immense sadness that like things inevitably have to change, because I like who these characters are so much in Peace Walker that I just want to live with them more. It's an incredible story, and it's shocking to me that this was like originally just a mobile game or a portable game. Yeah, I was very impressed with how it all came together, and like even down to like, I know I was skeptical coming into it with like the way that the cutscenes play out with like the art style, that like I wouldn't be able to connect with it emotionally, but like I feel like the art style actually ended up increasing my ability to connect with it down the line, and like I don't know, it touched me. I'm touched.
I would totally agree with you on that. I had a lot of fun talking to you about it. I think
Yeah.
it's interesting to me that this is the first like Metal Gear proper that you played, James, because I think this is also like one of the most like human characterized, like lore heavy ones.
Yeah.
And like it's exciting for me to see, but it sucks for you that like you played the one with the most heart first.
Yeah.
And so now it's like all downhill.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'm already kind of experiencing with 5, but oh well.
Oh, well, don't get me wrong. Like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, I think have their own special brand of heart.
Yeah.
But I think Peace Walker, at least to me, feels like the most genuine.
Yeah.
Of the
I can see that. And I think that like that might not, I think with the way it ends and like where it goes after that, like it kind of makes sense that it's the most human one, because like it's kind of like almost the death of Big Boss's humanity in the end there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
like he just sort of states like I'm done with fucking playing around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
cool.
true. This game felt like it came from a much more mature voice than some of the other games in the series.
Yeah.
Though 2 is coming from like an intellectually mature place. I think Peace Walker is coming from a emotionally mature place.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's me. That's me tipping my hand a little bit on what I'm going to be saying.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to address
I'm
that.
excited to see more of this universe.
Yeah. Sam, what did you think?
I liked it.
Isaac, what'd you know? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I thought it's.
I was
it's
kind of
int-
nervous about you playing it, Sam. Like I was legitimately
Really?
worried. I was like, if Sam doesn't like this game, I was like, I think Peace Walker's like kind of like probably in my top 10 favorite games.
Yeah.
Maybe even in my top 5. Like
Yeah.
I really like this game. So I was super nervous. I was like, me and Sam have very similar taste in games, and I feel like we can talk about a lot of games. I was like, if Sam doesn't like this game, I don't know what's that gonna do? I was like, I'm
For us.
scared.
How's our friendship gonna handle? No, I thought it was really good. Obviously, the weird Zadornov shit aside, I think it's. I agree with James. It's probably the most thoughtful Metal Gear, out there. Sneaking around was good. Story was good. I just really liked it. I enjoyed myself.
Nice. Yeah, it feels going back to my like warm summer day chill out thing.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels like not, and I don't want to say this in a way that like people are like, oh, anime like Dragon Ball. I just mean it like feels like a good warm, just like chill anime. It feels like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think. It feels like the lo-fi hip hop anime studying girl of Metal Gear.
Wow.
Like it just like feels warm. It feels like the end credits of Samurai Champloo of Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Like it just like feels. It just feels comfortable and warm, and like all my friends are there.
All your friends
You know
are
what I
there,
mean?
man. It's got a
And
good
none of the
ensemble.
bad, dumb shit. Just like all my
Yeah.
friends doing stuff that I like to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Isaac, how'd you feel about it?
Hey, it was long.
Oh no.
I mean, that's a good thing, kind of. Just because, like, all the other Metal Gear games were kind of short-ish and more concise. I feel like the second half of this game, well, like the Zadornov stuff, I got really frustrated with because I was like, I just want the missions to pop up. I don't want to have to go back and replay like all these missions again. But that was probably the worst aspect, and it's not even that bad of a gripe, if you will. But I will say that the story and the way that it was portrayed, like everybody else mentioned, was probably the most gripping that I have felt in these little Metal Gear forays. And it kind of made me want to know more as I kept going. It was a little weird at times, a little sad at other times. Made me feel things, and it was overall a good experience that I would probably actually. Okay, I was thinking about this. I think I would want to play this on like a portable system to know like how the intended use was supposed to
Yeah,
be
I like how none of
played.
us played it on a handheld.
Right? Because like you said,
I would love to see this re-released on the Switch. My
that would be
God.
sweet.
Oh man.
My God.
But being able to play it in little bite sizes, like in the park or by the pool, shooting people.
Isaac living the high life.
Yeah, Isaac's not talking to any of his
They're just
friends.
out on
He's,
the beach. Just I'm at a party. I'm in the corner. I'm playing Peace Walker.
Tubing, I'm
it's great.
just tubing the river, playing some Peace Walker.
I ain't talking to a
what I do.
goddamn person. People are like, Isaac. He's like, shh.
Shut up.
Port cutscenes are happening.
Yeah. No, I agree though. I think that there's something to be said about that. Which like fuck, it probably makes it more comfortable to be like cozy in your bed, kicking your little feet back and
Yeah.
forth, just like ceiling fan going,
Yeah.
got some
Yeah.
tunes playing,
Yeah.
get your little-
Brainwashing
get your Peace
soldiers.
Walker going. But yeah, would you guys recommend this game to like non-fans of the series? Like if this game weren't a handheld game and it was like more readily available to like have it on like HD version on like PS4 or something, like would you recommend this
Yes.
game to people?
It's like a standalone. Like just pick it up and play it.
Yeah, like if
No.
it was just like a hey,
No,
Come
I
at
feel like you've got to do some research and like get some context. Otherwise, like you're
You
not
need to
gonna
at
have
least.
as
I
good
think
of
you
an
need to at
emotional
least play.
experience.
yeah. You think so?
I think you need to at least play 3 to understand like a lot of
Yeah.
the background for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess in my mind, like the game starting with like Snake pulling up on his hog at the beach house, like I don't feel like necessarily needs a ton of context, but you guys are totally right. Like
Yeah.
the emotional beats that happen throughout.
Yeah, like even like down to like the scene with the horse, like that doesn't carry as
Yeah.
much impact if you don't understand like what
That's a good point.
preceded it.
That's a good
Not
point.
as
That is the
impactful.
shittiest part about this is like I want to tell everybody to play it,
Yeah,
but I think it just requires so much.
and I mean like like listen, like full disclosure, like I didn't have time to beat 3 before I came into this one, so like I didn't. I did a lot of reading and I watched a lot of videos, and like I feel like I still got a pretty good experience out of it. So like if you have time to put the 12 hours or whatever it takes to beat 3, like not the end of the world. You should definitely like still learn about that story, play this game, and then like go revisit 3 later, like I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Nice.
Playing these games like a fucking Star Wars trilogy, it's out of control.
Do you guys have any like tips for folks? Like if somebody's listening and they're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna pull the trigger." Which, like, spoiler alert for our listener response episode, we actually did have a couple people that like picked the game up
that's
because
awesome.
we were covering it. But like for those people, and I think I responded to a couple people online about this.
Yeah.
For those people that are like picking it up and just kind of diving in, do you guys have any like tips?
Yeah,
Like, pro
definitely
tips?
definitely build out that R&D platform. Make sure you can make some cool shit.
Never stop sneaking.
Fulton,
Yeah, keep sneaking.
Fulton.
Yeah, bag them and tag them. Yeah,
That's
that's
really
true.
about it, honestly.
Yeah, I would definitely pull up a guide once you get to the Zadornov stuff. If you're having
definitely.
difficulty. Again, those first 6 missions, he's hidden pretty conspicuously instead of inconspicuously. It's just when you do trigger that sort of like, well, we don't know where the fuck he's at. It sucks because if you were to walk away from that game for a few months and come back to it after that
Yeah.
point, you would probably completely forget that you were even looking for him,
Yep.
and you would just never see the end of the game.
Yeah.
Because like you wouldn't go to those stupid target practice missions.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's about it. Obviously, once you get to a certain point and you start to run out of space in your departments, I would definitely look up a guide on like where the highest ranking people are.
Definitely.
Because there are a certain there's certain specific numbered extra ops
Yeah.
that have like S rank people there.
Did you would just auto sort all the people when were you like
I was
manually
going through and just like looking at
moving
it and just
people,
like
yeah.
moving them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
they're
interesting.
always
It's
good
just
at just
what people
one
do.
thing.
Because yeah, I exactly like I was doing the same thing for a long time where I was like manually doing that. I was like, I can just do this faster.
Yeah. Yeah. I think only like Kojima, Huey, Strangelove, like all the named ones,
Right.
like they have like multiple proficiencies.
Yeah.
But like I think all the normal MSF
Yeah,
dudes here.
I will say like manually moving them sometimes was helpful if I like needed something to unlock quicker, so I would like make something better, especially in like
Yeah.
those cases. So yeah, do that. Pay attention.
Read a fucking book. But yeah, no, I dig it. That's Peace Walker, you guys.
Yay.
Yeah.
You did it!
Yeah, finally.
Lo hicimos!
First and foremost, I wanted to go through some news stuff real quick. So, essentially, for people who support us on Patreon, we are doing something special to say thank you and to allow more people to listen to more things. We're going to be upgrading everybody up a tier. So if you are currently contributing $1, you will receive the tier rewards for $2, and that continues all the way down the line. So if you're donating $2, you get the $5 access, blah, blah, blah. Those changes will be permanent, and they will be made sometime over this weekend. As of recording, it's Saturday, August the 4th. Once those are instated, that means that everybody who donates $2 up gets access to our Patreon club exclusive 2 episodes a month podcast.
Hell yeah, and it's real cool.
Yeah, especially if you're $2 a month. I mean, essentially you're paying 99 cents per podcast episode for those bonus episodes.
Yeah.
On top of getting episodes early. If you contribute $5 plus, you now have access to you getting a shout out on this show and being able to give us a 150-word message to read on the show. And so there are some folks that we need to shout out, and there's a message that I need to read. And I should have done this last time, so I apologize. But we have Kyle Schulk. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Kyle. We have Cole Duncan, and we have Devin Reed. So thank you guys, Kyle, Cole, and Devin. I think we'll have more names to add to this list soon, which is great. But I also wanted to read the response from Devin, and Devin's 150-word message is Kawanishi, Nozaguchi, Kinanobashi, Takayama. These are so hard to say. Tsitsuma Gataki, Tada, Hirono, Ichiratori, Eno, I can't, Yamashita, Sasabe, Kafida.
You want me to try?
Dude, it's tough. Yeah, go for it, Sam. You got them?
Are they in the...
Yeah, I can shoot them over to you right now. Take a look in the little G chat. There you go. Split am.
All right. Oh, boy. Okay.
Get in there, Sam.
Kawanishi, Noshaguchi, Kinobashi, Takayama, Ushigomori. I can't do it.
Dude, it's tough, right?
Suzumi
Isaac's about to dive in.
Suzumi Gataki, Tada, Hirano, Ichinotori, Ueno, Yamashita, Sasabe, Kofura, Takiwara, Miyoki.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
There we go.
But yeah, so thank you, Devin. And
in case you weren't aware, those are the train stations that AI Colonel, Metal Gear Solid 2, and then the Mammal Pod and Peace Walker spit off.
And then subsequently just like other people in various other things. Cole, I know I never mentioned this before. Cole had Sam came up with a 150-word message.
Yeah.
But Cole said, yeah, I was going to waive my 150-word message and just keep letting Sam speak for me from now on. So just so we know, Cole, Sam is Cole's mouthpiece.
So Sam.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Cole another message, and that
cool.
message is drink more Ovaltine.
Nice. I thought you were gonna say Geronimo, but there you go.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, so that's gonna be awesome. I think it'll be cool to have more people listening to that Patreon Club thing. Like we said, we're gonna be doing 2 episodes a month. The first episode will be on a non-Metal Gear game. Typically, the second episode of every month will be on a game-related topic. I know some of the topics that we had going on were things like portable gaming. We just did a whole episode on portable games and our first portable handheld games and stuff like that, and that was a lot of fun. We also just recently did an episode on Murdered Soul Suspect, the questionably titled Square Enix Ghost Detective game.
Yeah, and then at the end we talked about our experiences with ghosts.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So it's a lot of fun. It's way more informal and way more just joking around and being boys. Not being boys in
Boys
that way.
being
sorry.
boys.
Being
Boys
men.
being
Being
boys.
guys.
Men, boys
Men
being
being
men.
Being
dudes.
people.
Boys
Yeah,
being
no,
men.
we,
It's not a
to
locker.
boys
It's
again.
not a locker room. Please don't think that. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah,
that.
if you haven't listened, like donated and listened to it, yeah, we have me personally, I love this episode. I keep on talking about it, but we did an episode of The Last of Us where we kind of talked about The Last of Us, but it kind of turned into a discussion about like LGBTQ plus situations in society and
great.
like how video games bring people closer, and it's legitimately like one of my favorite things we've recorded. So
yep, it was a really good episode. And the other thing I want to mention is between seasons, so between this season and next season, which next season is going to be Metal Gear Goes to the Movies. And we are going to be watching some films and talking about them as they relate to Metal Gear. And I will have that pulled up very shortly as to when that starts. But between the Peace Walker season and Metal Gear Mondays Goes to the Movies, and between every season, we're going to be doing these extra ops episodes. So they're going to be not necessarily like true episode length, so we're not looking at like 2 or 3 hour episodes obviously, but they're closer to sort of like 45 minutes to an hour, and they'll have various people on them. So some of them will have all 4 of us, some of them will have 3 of us, some of them will have 2 of us, some of them might just be me kind of doing a little bit of like an audio essay. But some of those topics include the Kojima Code, which is the book that was written by the Metal Gear Solid guy, that talks about sort of the artist intentionality behind all these games and if there's like a greater message. Music of Metal Gear. We're going to be doing pro tips for Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain before that goes out. We'll be ranking like top 10 Metal Gear bosses, and we'll just be doing other shit like David Bowie and Metal Gear and like Kojima's like development history and stuff like that. Next season, which is Metal Gear Goes to the Movies, we are going to begin recording this at the end of August, and we will begin releasing it at the top of September. So we are going to be doing essentially, it'll be like end of August and early September, excuse me. But we're going to do one big episode talking about just Metal Gear and movies in general. We'll be doing Metal Gear Mondays is going to be reviewing Terminator. So we'll be doing, essentially we'll break it into where we're going to tie it into Metal Gear, talk about how Metal Gear references this film, and talk about how Kojima references the film. And then we're just going to straight up do a movie discussion, movie review.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing Terminator as episode 76. We're going to be doing episode 77 is Escape from New York. Blade Runner is episode 78. And then Godzilla is going to be episode 79. And that's going to be great. If you guys have any things that you want to write in about, please send those before August the 25th. And feel free to write in about Terminator, Escape from New York, Blade Runner, or Godzilla before then. And after that, I'm super fucking excited. End of September, we're going to be recording Metal Gear Spooky Month. And I know Sam and Isaac are not excited.
I'm fucking stoked.
So we'll see. I'm kind of wondering if I should just stream myself playing these games and you guys can just watch me because
I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna play PT. Because my original PlayStation beefed it, so I don't have it anymore.
That's true. So Isaac posted a super secret link to the beta PC version, so you can check that out. Also, alternately, you've played it before, right, Sam?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think we should be fine. I don't think we're gonna. Yeah, it's not like gonna be hardcore. But yeah, so we're doing super secret, scary, spooky month. So recording end of September and then releasing in mid-October is going to be an episode dedicated to the scariest moments in Metal Gear, an episode dedicated to Silent Hill 2, and an episode on PT. I'm almost wondering if I want to slot Silent Hill 3 into this, because Silent Hill 3 is like kind of mechanically peak of the series, and there's literally a direct Metal Gear reference in Silent Hill 3. So we'll think about it. We might slot in a third game. I haven't beat Silent Hill 3, so it'd be a fun thing to do, but it's also like legit one of the scariest fucking games ever. So I don't know if I want to put you guys through hell. But yeah, so that's all going to be great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else super important.
Are you mentioning the editor thing?
Yeah. So since there is so much stuff going on between the extra ops, the patron club, and all that stuff, obviously part of the reason why we're also giving everybody boosted Patreon tier is because I am well aware of the fact that I have not delivered the early episodes to patrons lately. I know that the first Peace Walker episode went out about 2 or 3 days early for patron people, but I'm still editing the other episodes, and I apologize. It's just been a very, very crazy, hectic, crazy busy thing. But since I haven't been... we didn't specify how early you would get those episodes, but me personally, I would love to be able to get them to everybody at least a week in advance. And so since that did not happen, I want to honor our friendship and honor our love and just say, hey, here you go. God bless. But because of that, because of the extra ops, because of the patron club, because of this show, obviously the patron club's a little bit more informal, so like that's fine. But if you are listening to this and you fancy yourself doing some audio editing, I would love to get in communication with you, and I would love to talk about having somebody come on and edit the show and utilizing some of our Patreon funds to be able to give a little bit of like a stipend to somebody for assisting with the editorial. Obviously, that would start out rather small because right now we are only pulling in roughly $60 a month. But the goal is to, by being able to outsource some of that, the goal is to be able to do more in content in general, and obviously be able to raise more money to pay for more professional editorial time and stuff like that. So if you're interested at all, please let me know. Obviously, it doesn't even need to be a big commitment. Even if it's somebody who'd be interested in picking up specifically extra op editing or even specifically patron club editing, that would still be an immense help. And I know likewise, if anybody would be interested in assisting me with updating older episodes with just show bumpers at the beginning, it's very, very simple, quick work. The quicker we can get that done, the quicker we can migrate to Buzzsprout, and the quicker we migrate to Buzzsprout, the quicker we'll be on Spotify and Google Play and yada yada yada. So just in general, doing my damnedest, but we could move way quicker if we had some assistance. So help a brother out. Where can folks find everybody on the internet?
You can find me, James, at James Reichmuth. It's ReichMuth on
You actually
Twitter.
spelled it this time.
And pretty much everywhere else. You can go to my website, jamesreichmuth.com, and you can find me at a local laundromat near you.
Very nice.
I'm actually looking at jamesreichmuth.com right now, and it's lit, y'all.
Hell yeah. I am available on Twitter at AC Summerfield. I'm available on PSN and Steam and everything is at AC Summerfield if you want to play games with us. It'd be really fun to actually organize a fan play session for
that'd be awesome.
Metal Gear Online.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
We should absolutely do that. And you can go to acsummerfield.com, and that's pretty much it.
I'm looking at acsummerfield.com right now, and it's lit, y'all.
It's good.
It's not up.
For me, you can find me in the phone book if you look hard enough. My name
If you look
is
hard enough.
Isaac
If you believe
Lim.
enough. Yeah.
Otherwise, you can go hit me up at Doesn't Have a Twit. That's about it.
I'm looking
actually-
at isaaclim.com right now, and it's lit, y'all.
I'm looking at Dr. James Reichmuth in Oakland, California on healthcare6.com right now.
me.
He's looking lit.
With that sideways ass picture.
Oh my god, there actually is an isaaclim.com, but it is not our Isaac.
Oh,
It's somebody good.
It's a musician. It's some kind of musician.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, crap.
Oh,
There's
shit.
music playing.
Whoa.
Dude,
Hey,
this
can you
website's lit.
can you cue my music here?
Yeah, can you cue Isaac Lim's music here? Please?
Oh, it's Christian music.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I just downloaded it. So God bless.
You mind if I praise God for a minute? You can find me, Sam Wright, on the internet on Twitter at Sanjul, SANJUUL.
And not at samwright.com.
Well, I'm looking at samwright.com right now, and it's lit, y'all. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Well, now I'm curious. Let me look at samwright.com.
I'm scared.
Oh, it's not a registered domain.
Get it. Get on it.
Dopeness. Well, cool. Thank you, everybody, and tune in next week for our listener response episode. No, excuse me, the co-op and extra ops. A week after that will be listener response episodes, and we are going to start recording that soon. So if you're hearing this, it's too late to give us your responses, but we still want to hear from you, so please send them anyway. And we love you. Sam, James, Isaac.
Hey.
I'm outsourcing this idea because I don't know what we do.
I want James to do it.
Okay.
You want me to, like, do I need to do a skit or you want me to just say?
Well, I mean,
It's
you
just
can
a-
do- you're an adult.
Whatever
so
your heart is
you
telling
can do what you want. But I'm just saying, you gotta get us out of here.
It's, hey, Alessio, ask me about, Amazon shipping.
James, can you explain to me the shipping process from Amazon's distribution centers?
Yeah, so they gather the materials and then they put it in a
Hold on,
cardboard
which
container. The biological materials that you've ordered
do you order
from the
from
internet.
Amazon?
Shipping blood
and then you send it to
shipping
your
blood and
house,
semen
and then when your
cross-country.
wife asks you what it is, you say it's just a box.
Just a box.